Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears!
Yo, Nomaniacs. Welcome into another edition of Nomad at Night. I'm your host, and I got my two trustees with me, man, having a little concerning football conversation in the green room back there. We'll bring it to the screen here in a minute. But, yeah, man, I've had not a bad week. I don't never have a bad week. I don't never have a bad day. I don't have a bad hour. But, trials and tribulations that come about, people in my neck of the woods are still kind of, taking care of the damage from storms and the tornado that happened around here. And there's been a lot of my attention to that. Still don't have a running vehicle right now because of it. And that we got that going on, but that's a temporary, this is a temporary thing for me. We'll be fine in the big picture, man, because other people have other way bigger problems. Shout out to Jacob on the Don, Naj in here. Good to see y'all in here. I am King Kong. Welcome in, man. But yeah, we got that going on. I ain't the complaining type, man. It's a lot of people around here that have way bigger problems than the ones I have right now. So ain't no complaining going on here. As far as the Bears go, we're gonna get into a deep conversation tonight. I got a few players I did not have the amount of time that I wanted to really dig into it because of what I previously just said. Plus, there's things going on in the world that's kind of parsing my attention a little bit more than normal. So I got a few guys to talk about, all defense, just for the record. But yeah, man, we're going to talk about a whole bunch and more tonight, man. But let me stop talking SHIT and pass it over to the Canuck. Alley-oop. Let's see if he can jump tonight.
I ain't jumping, bro. I'm coming off of one hell of a workout day yesterday, man. I got it in, got at it, realized something very major. Told you guys a little while ago that I kind of picked up them cigarettes again over the course of these last couple of weeks, and boy, it sucked every ounce of energy I had out of my body. And I was struggling yesterday, man. I was struggling hard at the gym. So I'm back. I'm just cold turkey again. You know what I mean? Cold turkey again. It's been just about 48 hours, and I plan to continue that on because again, I was really winded, really early getting into my sets yesterday, man. Mind you, I'm sore as an MF. I tried to go a little as hard as I could, even though I'm getting gassed quickly. It just kind of meant, you know what, we'll just do another body group. You know what I mean? Another area of the body. We'll just work that instead, and kind of worked all the way through. Anyways, I'm sore as fuck is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, yeah, but also, Kez, even though you change body parts that you're working out on, guess what body part they all share?
What?
The lungs.
Yeah, damn straight they share that one. It's like I'm gonna say almost with the exception of the legs, man. Like they do clearly, but like the more I work the legs out, the more lungs I have after. It's kind of weird. Legs really affect your like your circulate. It's more circulation than actual oxygen, but oxygen through through the lungs and all that. It feels great after, like, once I switched to my legs, I started to feel better.
Well, kids,
you're doing better than
logically,
Dan Brown. You're doing better. He's doing better than Dan Brown. Dan Brown's cat done burned his ass up.
Now, just think though, kids, when you work your legs,
the
blood has to travel where? To your legs. So you're getting more circulation because your legs are farthest away from your heart.
Okay.
So you're getting more oxygen throughout the body because the flow of circulation is going further around.
More distance. Like, you're making absolute sense of this thing. And let me just be straight up with you. I'm just trying to lift the weight from point A to point B. I don't have time to think about all that shit, man. I just don't. But you're making a lot of sense to me. Either way, we kind of just switched it up, went full body yesterday as opposed to sort of specific groups, and it worked out. It wound up working out. But like I'm telling you, I was just a little bit short on wind, and like I knew exactly why early, and I was like, you know what? No, I gotta cold turkey. We're done with the smokes for now. So hopefully that thing that can last. It's not. I don't have a problem quitting them. It is, It's the problem I have is like never doing it again. That's like the problem that I have. So we'll see how things go. But outside of that, man, regular ass week in Bears land. Welcome into all you guys. Thanks for joining us, Jake Capone, Mr. Mayhem, your boy Lara, Dan Brown, WG, Paul Rodriguez, all you guys out there in the chat, mad love. Thanks for coming in. I'm King Khan. And my boy the Naj is with us as well. I'm sure the chat will continue to pick up as we go through tonight's episode. But like I say, it's sort of been a little bit of tumbleweeds this week. And, we'll do what we can to keep things exciting regardless. Trip, what it do, man? How's your week, man?
It's all good. Got a little taste of the springtime, put on my little boy pants and such. And then kind of cold and blustery out right now, but it's Sunday night.
Springtime. What's that?
Sorry. Yeah, it's something that I've heard about. Do tell, but shout out to those in the southwest of these here United States, because there's what you would call a heat wave going on, and as that spreads throughout the country, y'all take care, and if anybody happens to be out in harm's way in a theater of conflict, y'all watch yourselves too. And then everybody else just watch from the raining from above. But other than that, I'm chilling. Looking forward to another Nomad at night, maybe a little draft talk.
Right on.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into some mock draft. I got a few players, like I said. But my human part of this is, in addition to what I was just talking about earlier with people trying to pick up the pieces from all the storm damage, is and we don't do politics on this show, and we're not going to do them tonight, but what's going on in the world is kind of, I guess, a little politicky, geopolitical, whatever you want to call it. But it's I just say this: the Doomsday Survival segment of Wednesday show on for some extra sauce is going to have it's going to have some reality, very strong reality to it, because of what's going on in the world. There's things going on in the world that, it could take quite a long time for them to get back to normal because of the actions that's being taken out there in the world. And we're talking about stuff that we can relate to right now with gas prices, different things like that. The price of oil and all those different things. People don't realize that like oil is in every single product, pretty much, like literally in everything that you have in your home. Everything that you go in the store and buy.
And service.
Yeah. And services.
And service. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's that powerful of an item or a commodity in the world. You know what I mean? So what's going on in the world as far as it might be going on in the Middle East or Persia, whatever you want to call it. I call it Persia, not the Middle East. But in that part of the world will affect you here if it's not already affecting you with gas prices and different things like that, energy bills and all this kind of stuff. And I've been hearing talk about in different countries that they're talking about doing let's just say, I don't know how to best describe it, but they're talking about kind of parsing the amount of energy households should be able to,
expand.
Yeah. So with this kind of crisis, this is going to be similar to what happened in COVID. They're going to be asking people to stay at home more and do your work from home more, and only go out to do necessary things, because the more you go out and use energy as far as oil and natural gases go, the harder it is for them to replenish those reserves. And so we're going down that road, I think. And so now I'm starting to, I'm already a quasi prepper to begin with. I've already prepared pretty much 75, 85% of what everybody else, regular people, need to go out and do. But now I'm going to have to double down on that, because with the situation, the way it looks like it's going to be kind of dire. I would just say that. And so my mind has been kind of preoccupied with that kind of thing and what's going on with the storm, and trying to pick up the pieces from that, vehicles and all that. But this is also a very strong part of what I'm thinking about right now. And so, no, I'm not diving into as much tape as I had been previous this stuff. And so there's more important things in the world than goddamn Chicago Bears right now, is basically all I'm trying to say.
That's a good way to say it. Fair enough.
All right. So with that being said, man, let's just jump into the Bears conversation while I put this banner up and you guys can see the latest top 30 visits confirmed. But KG was in the background talking about the Bears and feeling some kind of way about what's been taking place so far versus what's been removed from the team. Let's just give the people that support what we do some kind of sentiment of how you felt about that.
How do I parse this? So, I kind of said some stuff with respect to the loss of our secondary and those interceptions. And to take a little bit of a step back from that, it's a lot like those interceptions are almost impossible to recreate, right? I'm going to say maybe in game 2 or 3 last year, I stopped and I was like, y'all, is this sustainable? I had to ask the question, and like, lo and behold, it was sustainable. Like, who knew? So they continued to really make headway with respect to those takeaways, which was just a beautiful thing throughout the season. Now with the culprits who caused much of that calamity gone, you have to sort of stop and look at where we've gone and what we've done. My major beef with all of that is much less the fact that they got rid of any of those guys. It has much more to do with just business, dollars and cents. You could have retained them for peanuts on the dollar from the look of them leaving. It doesn't look like any of that core nucleus of this team that has now sort of been shaken up. It could have been retained for more or less affordable dollars and cents. Anyways, that being said, the upside is that all of those, Pro Bowlers or not, all of those players who've left the team, they've been replaced with younger and faster commodities, which I'm fine with, right? So in that respect, the team has gotten younger, which sort of again wraps a younger nucleus around this Caleb Williams-led team. To me, that's all of that is good. These are actually very high caliber players for the most part. So I'm kind of pleased with the trade-off of youth and excelling experienced youth versus what we had on the team in 2025. So That's cool. Unfortunately, where I'm at a bit of a loss is that it's just sort of a trade. We traded older guys for newer guys. But what have we done to really actually improve the team? There's two areas really where the team has been improved, and that is, again, in the youth area. And I'm also going to concede the area of speed. It looks like there was, a fair amount of lacking in the speed department, whether that was on the defensive line, which now looks somewhat faster, whether that was in the linebacker core, which again looks faster, as well as in the secondary itself, which now once more looks faster. So again, kudos to Ryan Poles for doing that and making that level of improvement across that defense. But
kids, let me offer you another perspective, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I think about it this way. Whenever there's a new coaching, when the coaching cycle changes over and there's a new coach brought in at a particular point of the season, there's two things you could do. One is you can go in there right away and completely gut that roster because it's not the guys that you particularly choose to have. You can completely gut it and just go sell out that next season. That's not what they did. The second thing is you can patch it up and let's work with what we have, and we'll add this into it, we'll add that into it, and we'll go for what we know with the patched up situation, right? And so when you look at it through those lenses, you can see they chose the opposite. They chose to patch it up and work with what they had, and look at where it took us. Now, from the perspective that you're talking about, think about now they have a little bit of time to really start doing what they really intend on doing in the first place. And that's kind of revamp the roster to what is more suitable for them. And it's mostly going on the defensive side of the ball because obviously they needed the most help. And so you have an opportunity to bring some guys back and prolong the sickness, if you will, with some of the older players that we have on the roster and some of the guys that, we feel like, okay, we might be able to upgrade that's up for a contract. And so sorting through all of that, I can understand exactly what they're doing. It's just they're being slow and deliberate inside Hallis Hall, not so much front facing to us. And it's starting to get a little concerning for the fans. I'm looking around and I'm seeing what people are saying. They're just like, wow, we look vastly different than we downgraded the team. And just remember, as you have those thoughts, remember this is a work in progress with the reshaping of and retooling of this roster. Yeah, it's not a lot of key names missing. And I was just telling kids in the background, that interception number that we had this year is totally ambiguous, man.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that can go one way, left or right, anytime it wants to. It's just a number. And so
that number is almost impossible to recreate. And that's part of the reason why I'm fine with this. Where I see what you're saying though, right? Like you're saying that they molded this squad more so to fit Dennis Allen and what he really wants his squad to look like than anything else. So this is basically Dennis Allen, I won't even call it 1.0 defense. We'll call it like 0.1 before this whole thing is finished. But he's just trying to mold the squad into what he ideally looks for with respect to his scheme and things along those lines, which again makes perfect sense to me. My real issue is this, and I'll be more direct here. The moves that were made, I'm okay with. Would I've made them? Probably not, but some of them I would. I'm okay with them. My worry is if the big sieve and the big issue was on that defensive line, I'm not so sure if the moves we've made there are going to correct the issues that we had. And that's really where I'll bury this, right?
Well, you basically don't trust me then.
You?
In my take and how I describe what they have now versus what they had before.
No, it's got nothing to do with you, and it's got nothing to do with your description of what Ryan has done, because I can understand where he's coming from, but he sort of took the bargain basement route here, right? He didn't, like these are the Dio Odangbo moves of 2024-ish in 2025. He hasn't, these aren't surefire linchpin moves to say this problem is these are band-aid fixes as opposed to nail and wood. And that's sort of my view of this until proven wrong. Hopefully I am, hopefully these fixes are and prove to be exactly what the doctor ordered for that defensive line.
Well, I think
this present time, I'm just not sure, because like that's where the crux of the issues were.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let me share this with you real quick, because if you look at it, what you were saying about the departures that we had.
Mm-hmm.
You look at on the screen here for those, driving or whatever, keep your eyes on the road and be safe out there. But the players that we lost were kind of ass. And I think that's kind of reflected in the contracts that they got on the open market. The only ones to sign, a multiple year deal was Olamide Zaccheaus, and, we was all good on him. Jonathan Owens, 2-year deal for $5 million. We was good on him. And then Tremaine Edmonds got a 3-year deal, but he got cut. So all of our free agents that Ryan Poles decided not to bring back, it wasn't like they signed multi-year big, money deals anyplace else. So it seems as though the market kind of priced what they were. And, with that said, we were ass on defense, but the smoke and mirrors of the turnovers made it, possible to keep us in games that we were in, or, close enough to have the offense come back, as Caleb is getting that Iceman copywritten, all that. I see you. I ain't mad at you either. But the replacements are, I would say, a 1-for-1, depth wise, but the replacements are faster, are younger, are more of a scheme fit for Dennis Allen. So the sexy move or the name that it's like, yeah, that player, he's going to change everything. I don't know that player existed in free agency, especially considering the financial juggling that's going on. So you have to make moves here to bring in this guy. Then it's like, oh yeah, but we can kick that can down the road. The salary cap's a myth, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, now we're not trying to get into that trap yet, because I understand it's like, yeah, we trade for this guy or sign this guy. We need that one position to get over the hump. Right now, we need a whole new freaking defense, as seen not by the players that let go, but how ass they were last year, aside from the turnovers. So that's what we're getting right now. And it's a process. I understand that Caleb is in his rookie year. Ryan Poles has been here 4 years, but it's like, all right, what ifs? Now we're 4.5 years in, or coming up to this next draft before we got, Ben Johnson's head coach. We got the franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams. We got the majority of the offense set. We had to replace a Pro Bowl center, but we got a center that was with his team in the Super Bowl to replace him with. Left tackle still an issue, but injuries happen, and that was unforeseen. Other than that, it's just replacements. Like next year, DeAndre Swift would be out of there, and who's going to replace him? Whereas now the defense is just overhaul, and we got to get younger. It got to get inexpensive. So I don't think an older or expensive free agent is going to change any damn thing.
Well, here I go disagreeing with the way Trips says things. Man, Trips, I tell you what, boy.
You're with him for a minute, and it just went.
I would, and he called them ass, man. I wouldn't call them ass. You know, Trips is
they weren't good.
Once they're not a bear, once they're not, I mean,
ass.
Let's just say
29th out of 32. It ain't good, man. That ain't good. I mean,
but he's talking about the guys that we don't have on the team right now that went elsewhere. They ain't ass, man. You know, just because.
Well, I mean, as a whole, the defense played as an ass. Individual efforts aside, cool. But as a holistically, yeah, we good without him.
That is it goes to the perspective I was just giving kids about the decision they made to not gut it right away because they weren't the guys that they would prefer and patch it up. And so for the guys that Dennis Allen wants and prefers, you saw that right away in free agency, the kind of guys that he's looking for, a little bit more versatile, a little bit more fast, quick, a little bit more burst. He's looking for certain kinds of traits. And not all the guys that we had kind of fit that. And so, you know, to say they ass, I wouldn't say they're ass. I think they perform as best they could, given the circumstances, is the best thing I can say about it.
Well, the good was good, but we need better, if not best.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Then we're going down that road. And the patience, I think, is the virtue here. You know, not to go again, man. You can't pull a rabbit out of the hat. You might pull a goddamn on.
Trick never works.
You can't. I mean, there is nothing. You're gonna have to figure out how to get more money into your salary cap structure. Right now, we don't have it. So you ain't. If you ain't got it, you can't spend it. You dig? So what they've done so far, to me, they needed volume and certain traits in that volume. And I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get that defensive front. You got to be able to get home with 4 in this defensive front. You know, when you send 5, you send 6, that's kind of a novelty in this defense. But, you know, getting home with 4 and having the kind of guys that can really give you an interior presence that can do it, that can in turn help the defensive ends get home a little bit faster.
I'm going to put a pin in you and ask, do you feel under any pretenses we can hit home with 4 what we got now versus what we had before? You believe that?
I do. I know that.
Okay. I'm not. I don't. Like, I wish I could say differently. I don't believe we can hit home with 4 now.
If what are we looking at the starting for? Booker, Sweat, Gallimore, and Jarrett? Was that the starting front 4?
I've been through this a few times with you guys, man.
Doubt Gallimore you think Gallimore steps over top of Javon?
No. What I'm trying to tell you, so long as Javon is on this roster, he's probably going to be the starter.
He's starting.
What I'm telling you is how much quicker they are without Andrew Billings, without
Chris Williams.
Chris Williams was quick. He just wasn't strong enough to really do what Dennis Allen needed him to do. There was times when he had him playing nose guard, and the guy's barely 300 pounds. He just wasn't strong enough to maintain a double team. He'd get moved the hell out the way, and it ain't no problem. So he wasn't. So all the guys that Dennis Allen's brought into here is somewhere between 300 and 315 pounds. Somewhere in that neighborhood, somewhere between 300 and 315 pounds. He optimized speed and quickness. And so with the interior pass rush being improved, Ryan Poles was trying to say that in his presser. Their mission was to get quicker, faster up front, to give these edges a better chance to get home and be more effective as an edge rusher, which is why they didn't go and spend big in the edge market, because they think they improved in the interior that's going to help the edges. I've been trying to say this for a while, but you know, that concept is better seen than heard. And once they're on the field, I think you'll see it. But man, they got a whole lot quicker and faster up front. You know, just those 2 players in particular, those 3. We're talking about the what's his name?
So Neville,
talking about Kentavious Street, and the more recent guy, I can just
Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch. Those 3 guys can really get off the ball. And Lynch is he's going to probably be your Andrew Billings in this defense, and he's a little bit undersized as far as his weight goes. But
he's fast, bro. Like I'll give Lynch that. He's very quick and he can penetrate. So I'm this is the mission, y'all. Like I'm just gonna baseline it. The mission is they have to be able to hit home of 4. So come hell or high water when September rolls around. That's what was missing with this defense last year. It's what was missing with Fluke's defense as well. Same general issue. Once they sort that out, whether it's fixed with speed, power, or tools, then you're going to see things shift quite a bit, right? Like you're going to see a massive shift in this defense and its ability to maintain and shut things down. Right now, we are sort of in question. I know these guys are all faster and somewhat toolsy. So, I'll give it to these 3 guys that he's picked up on the low, but I need to see it on the field because I doubt that any of them will be starting.
Well, Kiz, I'll give you something that this might make you feel a little bit better. You 2 trips. We remember DeForest Buckner, right? From Indianapolis.
Yeah.
3-tech out of Indianapolis. Now, he had some kind of I think a neck injury that happened or something this year, and it forced Neville Gallimore on the field to play his role more often. And so a lot of the film that I saw with Neville Gallimore
looks good, huh?
Oh man, let me tell you something. It looked better than DeForest Buckner a lot of times. And I don't know that DeForest Buckner wasn't dealing with something, and I just might not know about that. And that's almost a oxymoron to say Neville Gallimore looked better than DeForest Buckner. But the truth is he did.
I'm impressed by Neville. Neville's come a very long way. And when I say that, I believe it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to run the football on us when he's in the lineup. I have to say that out loud because I actually do believe that. Contavious Street, I don't know. I'm a little bit less impressed. I am quite impressed by Lynch. So to me, really, it's just going to be more of a rotation and how this rotation tends to look when they actually put it into practice. So I kind of can't wait to see it. But here's the kicker. The kicker is the draft. And what we wind up doing with respect to this defensive line in that draft and how quickly these rookies can be brought up to speed and make their impression felt on that defensive line. I think we need at least 2, if not 3 linemen in this draft. I don't know how many picks we got, but I think that's, what I mean? I think that's really what we're looking at.
Well, let me ask you this, though. You and Nomad both kind of mentioned Javon Dexter. Let me throw this nugget in there for you, and then I'll toss it back out there. He just recently signed with a new agent, Drew Rosenhaus.
Who is that now?
Javon Dexter signed with a new agent, Drew Rosenhaus. And Rosenhaus is one of those agents that likes to, let's say, air quote, maximize his clients' contracts. So with that said, and seeing how coming out of college, Javon Dexter was not a get off the ball kind of guy, and he still really isn't. Does that change the way you think that his tenure might be for this team?
Well, before we get to that answer, let me show the respect that is deserved for this. Shout out to Slimbo Boogie for the $2 super chat. We appreciate you, Slim. He says 32 days until the draft. Good off-season conversation. And I like where we are, Slimbo Boogie. To be honest with you, slow and methodical, and they're being very precise about what they're doing. And I understand why, and I know everybody doesn't resonate with everybody because Most people just look at these like, oh, you just got a guy who was just a guy who was just a guy on this other team. You know, what are we doing, man? We're not doing anything that's, you know, ground shaking, that's earth moving at all. You know, and I understand that. What we try to do here on the Nomad Network is bring you a perspective that can really sit home with you, even when the show is over, and it gives you something to think about. And I am just telling you guys, what they've done has already changed our front. And all the complaints about, oh, we don't have a pass rush, we don't have this, we can't get to the quarterback, that it's true. But what they've done so far is definitely changed and altered that up front in the middle. Not the edges yet, but in the middle. And so interior pass rush in a set like we run is as important as an edge rusher. I just want people to keep that perspective at home with you, even when the show's not on. And then if you can get to that point, then you can understand why, you know, the assets were spent in free agency in the interior of the defensive line. If you can get that, then you know exactly what they're trying to do. They're going to go young and draft an edge rusher they think they can start. That's what they're going to do. And he's going to challenge Austin Booker in the spring. That's what's going to happen.
Well, yeah. This is precisely why I scream Akeem Mesidor as loudly as I can. A, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. B, he will play inside and outside, so you can line him up right alongside the man Booker. And I say that because I really like what I see in Austin Booker, especially when the team across from him is wearing green and yellow. It's a beautiful thing when that team shows up, because Austin Booker is a heat-seeking missile animal, savage Wolverine. And I hope that level of play continues from him. Again, we lost a couple of games with him early this season, and then really got to see him shine a bit later on. Hopefully we can really see him shine for 17 games, and again, do the old switcheroo with somebody who can go inside, outside, right beside him. That helps really bolster both positions with this one particular player. In any event, you know, moral of the story is, yeah, we gotta get to the passer. Now, to get back to where Trips was. Trips, I didn't realize that he had signed with Drew Rosenhaus. That is a very interesting conversation for Javon Dexter. And what it means is that he may see the writing on the wall with respect to them going deep already in free agency and tripling down on that interior defensive line area.
His position. And they may do the exact same thing a little bit more in the draft, right? Like, this might continue on in the draft. So he might be seeing that writing on the wall and going, okay, it's probably in my best interest to go out and secure the services of the best, bar none, agent in the game, to ensure that if I have to transition out of this team, my transition comes at a pretty penny for both me and him. So that's I smell what you're cooking. I see exactly where your brain is, and I did not realize that up until just now. Which leads me back to the area that I'm always in, same place I'm always at, which is like, we need to draft and develop these guys and trade them to get some sort of capital so that it's not an absolute waste of money, time, energy, and effort. Mm-hmm.
Please, Lord, let that happen. Now, here's the flip side to this. Here's the flip. This might not happen. Like, let's be honest. It might not happen. What might happen is Neville Gallimore or one of these new rookies might come in gangbusters and take the man's job. And if that happens, he's going to ride the bench just like Braxton Jones ruled the bench last season. And the new guy who proves himself, and that proof might come in training camp, the new guy might take over that role. And unfortunately, because Mr. Dexter doesn't see the field very frequently moving forward, he might not receive the shine that we're hoping he receives. So maybe, this is me making a prediction before you jump in, Nomad. Maybe we see a late trade of Gervon Dexter before the league year begins.
It's very possible. It's very possible. And I'll just say this. Another reason, it could be as simple as this. Gervon Dexter, Chicago Bears, trying to get something done, trying to get a deal reached. Couldn't get it done with the agent that he had. Switch him up because he saw the market. And guess what? There wasn't very many D tackles that got paid in this market. There's a few. There's a couple. Not very many. The market, let's just say teams really tightened their belts this offseason. And there's a few contracts that got loose out there that was just like, oh, that didn't make no sense. I go back to the Ricky Pearsall contract. That was ridiculous to me. But there is a market, and when you have an agent that's really adept at noticing trends and knowing what the market is going to look like for you, whether or not, the player that's being told what the market looks like versus what he knows he's capable of and what he's worth, that can be a hell of a conversation between those two people. And if it's not really sounding like what I expected, I got to get rid of you, man. I'm listening to this other guy, man. I like what he's saying. And that market might not look good for Gervon Dexter in Chicago, but preparing the grounds for you to get the best deal that you can get. You can't get a better agent than Drew Rosenhaus to get it done.
Nope.
There's be some arguments about a few other, notable names that are out there, but man, this is about dollars and cents when it comes to Gervon Dexter. At this point, he has to know that this ain't nothing to do with this ain't got nothing to do with loyalty. This has got everything to do with business.
No, and I fully get that, and I want him to maximize his value, but I don't think that should be here.
Well, it's about it's less to do about what we think about Gervon Dexter and how he can bring a certain something to the table more than what Dennis Allen thinks he is and what he can bring to the table versus some other guys out there that he thinks they can bring a little bit more. Now, Gervon Dexter doesn't really look like pretty much any of the D tackles that I've seen play in Dennis Allen's defense, who has a proven defense over the years. I'm talking about like 15 years worth of really, really good defenses. And not one time, and I've studied them, not one time can I find a guy, a 3 technique with the size of Gervon Dexter. Not one time. And that's no shade against Gervon Dexter. That's just me telling you what the track record says. That guy looks more like a Neville Gallimore body. A little bit shorter, a little bit lower to the ground, a little bit more quick, a little bit more explosive, a little more versatile. And Gervon is versatile, just by the way. He can give it to you. He can play 0 technique, 1 technique, as well as 3 technique. But he doesn't really fit the body type that I've seen in Dennis Allen's really good defenses. He just doesn't.
You're 1,000,000%, and I'm going to ask you, like, what's the easiest area of difference between a Gervon Dexter and a Neville Gallimore? What jumps off the tape with Neville versus Gervon?
Lower to the ground, lower pad level, and quickness.
All right, I was looking for something else, but all of those things equal get off.
Well, here, how about this?
When you say get off, I think people hear other people say that and not really understanding. Like if you have a little bit less of a get off or less quicker get off than the next guy, that doesn't mean that you can't be as effective as a guy that has a little more burst. And so people put so much emphasis on get off because they hear other people say it. They don't really quantify, you can be
when the ball is snapped, he's still in his 3-point stance and everybody else is moving.
Trips. If you have a slower get off. Now it's about, can you get this blocker off you? Can you rip through this block and really get up the field after that? So that's the next thing you should ask.
Well, I think the next thing I really want to ask is, what are there? Phrase it like this: are there any prospects in this draft you think we can get that would legit beat out Dexter in their rookie year?
Prospects, yeah. And to True Pilgrim's point, yeah, that's the one like anomaly.
Wait, what did he say there?
Akeem Hicks did play for Dennis Allen. That's the one anomaly.
Yeah, but that get off thing I was talking about. Like we're talking about Akeem Hicks, and Akeem Hicks got get off.
No, he didn't.
What do you mean? No, he didn't.
He didn't.
What?
He didn't have a fast. He didn't have a fast burst.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say it was definitely faster than Javon Dexter's was. He is.
No.
I disagree with that.
Okay, but no.
Okay.
It's similar, very similar. Akeem was just, let's just say, in the defense that he played in here in Chicago, he wasn't necessarily asked to do what Javon does.
It's a 3-4 defense versus a 4-3. There are some, there are some differences here. It's fair.
There you go.
That's fair. All right.
You know, so I'm not making whatever happens with Javon Dexter. I wish him the best, but traditionally, based on what I've seen in Dennis Allen's defense, he's not optimal.
Well, if he's not optimal, I would, totally see him either getting dealt at the trading deadline or before, because he's taking up a roster spot, for somebody that would be more of a fit.
Well, Trips, I know how you are. You just want to just get rid of motherfuckers, man.
Well, not just willy-nilly. I mean, if they don't fit, no love lost. I mean, it's just
right now we short numbers as it is, so I'm a little bit less worried about the actual roster spot. I'm back where I always am, and like maybe they can get something for him as opposed to sitting him on the bench, not playing him, and allowing him to walk. And allowing a second round pick to walk for absolutely nothing.
You know what I think they're thinking with Javon?
What?
I think they're gonna primarily play him at 1.
That would make more sense.
I think that's what they plan to do with him.
Put his
If he
6
stays
foot
on the
6
roster,
right in the middle.
I think that's primarily going to be his role, and that's not a for him. That's not a role that's going to maximize his dollars, but that's a whole other conversation. That's a separate conversation.
Well, how versatile is he along the line, do you think?
He's shown he can be versatile now. He's shown that here. He can get up and down that line. He showed you reps from 3 technique. He's shown you reps this year from 0 and 1 technique, a little bit when Flus was here, but he's also shown when Flus was here that he can get on your ass from the edge as well. To me, those are some of his better reps.
Yeah, because True Pilgrim is saying he agrees that Javon is not a 3 tech.
Not for Dennis Allen. Not for Dennis Allen. I don't think he's optimal whatsoever. And shout out to Ron. He just renewed again. Remember, for 5 months.
Big up, Ron.
Shout out to Ron Winarski, man. We love you, bro.
Man, Nomad won't be punching you out on my watch, Ron.
I won't.
Fight.
All right, hey, man. Listen, we got a couple guys. You know what? This conversation is so good. Let's just keep it rolling for a couple more minutes, man.
Yeah. Real quick, just before you go, Nomad, just to clean up something that Ked said earlier, not clean up, but add to about the 30 visits, and across the bottom of the screen, there was confirmed Hallis Hall 30 visits for these prospects. But Dan Rochard did an interview, and he said, in context, Dan Rochard on the 30 visits, the more concerns there are and the less clean they are, the more work you have to do. You bring them in for a 30 visit. Last year, the Bears drafted 0 players of their reported 30 visits.
You said that last week, and just poo-pooing the work I had to do to get this on the screen. So kiss my ass. Shut the fuck up. Golly. You said that a week ago.
That was not the purpose of the comment. That was not the purpose.
That was a different one. That was a different one.
I know, man. It's and so if they're bringing guys in on 30 visits, they have questions. So,
but I mean, like, we're looking here. Bears News top confirmed. Like, I heard Dejon Stribling is good, but maybe injury concerns.
Yo, Lions today, FGB boy.
What up, dude?
Grayson Halton. I hadn't heard any possible red flags or questions, but then that also goes to show that whatever questions or cleaning up that a front office has to do, we as fans don't know that stuff. We don't know how the medicals turned out. We don't know how the background is or whatever it is they have to clean up. We don't know what that is.
Well, we just did Grayson Halton, I think this week or late last week. We just did Grayson Halton.
Yeah.
But let me get this off the screen so I can get to some love that's in the chat right here. Give me a second. Where we go? Shout out to Cloud Chasers Radio with the $5 $4.99 super chat. Nice. He says, how do we feel about drafting all defensive players with the first 3 picks? I would be elated. Just me personally.
Please, baby, please. Like that's what I think needs to happen. I might even push it. Man, I guess I can't push it to 4th. Like in the 4th, I kind of want them to wheel and deal and maybe get a running back or a wide receiver. But that's kind of how I feel, man. I need those first, the 1 and the 2 twos to be all your line. Build that line out and make that the line of the future.
What about where you getting your safety?
They go. I'm just hoping they get Bud Clark somewhere in and around somewhere.
But isn't he old with injury red flags?
Hey, look, man, damn it, Trip. Everybody ain't a spring chicken. You ain't no goddamn spring chicken.
Well, I ain't in the draft either.
This is what I'm trying to say. But man,
this guy, if you had the flu when you was 8, can't be on this roster.
You still got chicken pox bunks. No.
I'm just saying. I hope they find somebody. There's some caliber safeties. I think the safety market in the draft is pretty deep. So I'm hoping. I'm hopeful with respect to that position specifically. Even then, I'm kind of interested in Cam Lewis, the safety.
The free agent we just signed?
Yeah, he's a linebacker, but like I'm kind of interested in Cam Lewis.
He's a slot corner.
Yeah, I thought he was more of a slot corner. He's a special teams demon.
I'm interested in Cam Lewis, the safety, is really where my
heart is. We knew that we didn't realize that we had depth problems at nickel corner, kids. We found that out this year. And for whatever reason, they did not put Josh Blackwell in as a replacement to whenever Kylan went down. It was McLeod, then it was Jalen Jones. It was everybody but Josh Blackwell. So obviously they thought that was a problem that they needed to address right away in free agency. And I think that's where he's going to be, kids. If he ends up playing safety, I will correct myself, but I don't think that's what they brought him here for.
I'm interested is all I'm trying to say. I'm interested in seeing him. I'm interested in seeing him on the field as a starter. He will not be on the field as a starter at the nickel position. That is clear as day.
For sure.
Right? That is clear as day. So we can get him on the field potentially again at that strong safety role. I'm interested. I want to see how he potentially performs in that role. I hope they give him some sort of shot at that.
It was either last week on Nomad at Night or Extra Sauce, one of them. But Nomad brought up don't sleep on back of the roster guys that have been developing, and one of the names brought up was Dominique Hampton. And so I went and looked at Dominique back when he was at Washington Huskies, and it was like that boy can play. but he looked skinny.
Oh.
He wasn't skinny, but he looked like he needed to bulk up. And so I'm thinking, if he's been on the practice squad, he's bulked up, what position because he was like, he's a linebacker, he could be a strong safety. He's one of those, hybrid multi-position guys that seems to be, Dennis Allen's thing on every level, from the D-line, linebackers, and defensive backs. And it just seems as though Dominique Hampton could be somebody that we are overlooking that can contribute or will contribute.
Dominique Hampton is
a running back
that he's a safety
slash linebacker.
That's right. Okay.
He's a guy that I wax poetic about. I wax on, and y'all got to remember me talking about this dude. I was just like, anytime you grab a player that's kind of like, it was obvious. I went and looked at the press conference in Washington from the head coach, and they really tried to switch him from safety to linebacker. For whatever reason, it did not work in the system in Washington, who they run the same system as us, kind of, but in a different way. However, I think that Dominique Hampton happens to be a player that Dennis Allen coveted in that draft and wasn't able to get his hands on him. And he saw the opportunity to get his hands on him in this market, got him off the practice squad, or they cut him outright. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm glad you brought that up, Trip. Now, he's a guy that when you start looking ahead as to who could be what in this camp and who can play what role, if they put him back at safety, I think you got something. I really do. If you put him at linebacker, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I think he can get it done. He was with us for the last, let's just say, third of the season. They just didn't put him out on the field. And so they've been working with him quietly. Nobody knows about how it's been going and what they're doing with him. He's still listed as a linebacker. And so come springtime, when they put him on the field, we're going to find out some things. And I do think we have a piece in him. I said that about Nashawn Wright when we got him, too. I said that then. And I'm just saying that now. Tony, Dominique Hampton is a name to remember.
So when I asked the question about safety, I don't know that, Dominique Hampton is or is not better than a safety prospect coming out, but don't think that if, let's say, the Bears don't take a safety until later, that we have to rely on that later on guy to be the full contributor at the position.
You want to talk about safety, Trips? Got a player for you. Give me a second. I'm pulling him up.
Mm-hmm. Big up to everybody.
I got a few players to talk about real quick. This is Jalen Kilgore, safety out of South Carolina. He's about 6 foot, about 211. First thing to say about Jalen Kilgore, he'll hit you. He'll hit you. The second thing to say about him is he's fast. Fast and will hit you. To me, and from my perspective, and I'm pretty much done with his film, and that's the reason why he's on the show, because I got to finish the film before I start talking about him. One thing about him is he's very, very physical. That's a strong trait from a Dennis Allen defense. Safeties are very physical, very fast. He checks both of those boxes, number one. Number two, he is, let me just say, he's like a linebacker in his temperament. So he's going to be really, really good around the ball. Not to say that he won't be as good away from the ball and in space, but I do think his best position is in and around the ball, in the box. He is going to have dirt flying around him because he's going to be hitting people. He's a sure tackler in open field. He's a man, and he's kind of developing into a ball hawk. He's kind of developing into a ball hawk. But this guy right here, I've seen a lot of Dennis Allen safeties, and they all kind of look like him. Some of them a little bit bigger or taller, but 5'11", 6 foot is good size for a Dennis Allen safety. But Jalen Kilgore is physically fit to play in this Dennis Allen scheme. Just tell me that right now. He's got all the traits. And so sometimes his ball awareness and where the ball is in the air and how to turn and flip his hips and turn his shoulders, that's going to take a little bit of cleaning, but that's not an inhibitor to keep you from drafting a player like this. He's got everything you want. And you don't have to draft this guy high at all.
Do you know if he caught the flu when he was 8 years old?
He might have. It's over.
Yeah, I don't need a doctor's note.
He got the measles or something.
I had to ask the obvious question because like he's the next guy on my list out like after Bud Clark or in and around Bud Clark. These two guys should be just a little bit later in the draft where you can get a safety confidently, and these guys can do the darn job, right? So I'm interested in Kilgore as well. I think Kilgore it would be a great look for us at that strong safety position too. This is a good look for the Chicago Bears across the board.
He is extremely physical in the box, man. He wants to hit. It's what he does. He wants to tackle. He wants to be around the ball, and he wants to be physical.
Yeah, he's
guys like that. You definitely put a priority, some kind of priority sticker on your board if you're in Hallis Hall, and you highlight that.
Yeah,
you want a physical defense. You get a player like this to help support that. And he's got personality. He's just very aggressive. He plays like a linebacker.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it is. I liked what I saw in film from him. He is a sure tackler, not an arm tackler. You know what I mean? He's. I was kind of impressed by Kilgore. He's not your ball hawk or what I would consider a ball hawk in today's world. But I'm sure over time he can grow into being that ball hawk. Same token, that's going to allow his free safety partner to hawk the ball. So if you want a strong safety with strong safety capabilities, this is one of them guys that I think we should be looking at.
Now, in coverage, I will say this. One of the things I kept noticing on this film was sometimes he's late to get his head around. So you're taught, Keds and Trips, when you're in phase and coverage and you're carrying a receiver down the field, whether it's a receiver, running back, tight end, whoever it is that you got to carry down the field, when that guy turns his head and starts looking for the ball, immediately your instincts are supposed to kick in and you turn that head towards where he's looking for the ball. So if it's your left shoulder or your right shoulder, you pay attention and be acutely aware of where he's looking at. And sometimes Jalen Kilgore is a step or two late. It's okay to be a step late, but every once in a while, Jalen is 2 steps late, and then he ends up at times in a pass interference because he runs through the receiver. He didn't get his head around in time. But that's a coaching thing. You know what I mean? That's not we can't draft him because he doesn't get his head around quick enough. They're not complete products when they're in college. That's why they become professionals, to hone their skills and get better at what they do. That's easy peasy cleanup. Take it from a DB. I know this. They will clean that up pretty quick with him. And so that's the only real downfall that I saw on tape. And I don't even consider it a downfall. I consider it, okay, that's a coaching thing, and you got coaches in the building to do it. So you do that. You draft them, and you start working on that thing. And so to me, that's really the only thing I saw on this film that was just like, oh, wow. And it's not that stark, Keds and Trips. It's just not, it didn't alarm me at all. It was just like, okay, I know he needs to work on that.
Okay. Broski Bear saying Wheatley over Kilgore. Any thoughts on Wheatley? Have you had the chance to look?
That's from Penn State. We'll get to him.
Okay. All right.
I think I want to say we got to him already, but I don't know.
I don't recall Wheatley.
I have to look at the list, but we'll get to him. We'll get to him.
Okay.
There's a corner that should be spoken about too, and that is Colton Hood out of Tennessee. He's again, man. I start thinking about Dennis Allen's defenses and the kind of corners that play in his defense. What you love about Colton Hood, if you pull him up on tape, kids, you start looking at him. One thing I would have you pay attention to really quickly is how he, like in cornerback play, when you one-on-one with a receiver, one of the things that you're coached and told is you don't overreact to a first move. In fact, you don't react at all into a first move. You wait for the second one because the first move is all shucking and jiving. It's just trying to see if they can bait you into, going left or going right, and they just take off on you, and you got to play an uphill battle from there. And so what you see at the line of scrimmage with him is he's patient. When I see patience at the line of scrimmage, I see a confident cornerback, very confident cornerback. He's not worried about you running past him. No, Colton Hood has got all the speed that he needs. You're not going to run past him. And so he's confident in that. And so he's going to let you get off the line and do your little shucking and jiving and get into your route. And once you get into your route, that's when he's going to put his hands on you. You'll see that on tape right away with Colton Hood. He's late to reaction, and that's good. That's not a bad thing. And then he's going to put his hands on you, which I don't see enough of in cornerbacks in the National Football League right now. There's too many free releases. Too many guys are just running free without somebody putting hands on them. Colton Hood has been taught, get your damn hands on this guy. Wait till he gives his bullshit move, that first move, and then put your hands on him. You'll see that right away on his film. He is not gonna impatiently jump and your first move, he's gonna overreact. No, he's gonna patiently let you do your first thing. And then the second thing you do, once you break in a direction, he's gonna put his hands on you. And that's what you need. That quietly and slowly takes away a little bit, whether it's a fraction of a second or a whole second, it's going to take away a little bit of what the quarterback is thinking and the timing in his head. So the game is played that way. It's all timing. So Colton Hood has got it all. He can cover you in tight spaces. He can cover you in wide spaces. He's physical. He can cover in zone. He can cover in man. And again, the best thing about Colton Hood to me is his confidence and patience. Knowing that you can't run past me, I can run alongside anybody. And so whatever you think you're doing at the line of scrimmage in your first move, I got you once you start breaking on your second one. It's a hell of a trait for a cornerback. Confidence, skill set, and patience. It's almost a lost art in this league.
Well, I don't see us doing the CB thing and where Colton Hood is lined up, and that's my only worry here.
I have no idea where he's lined up.
He's heavily touted, man. As per your assessment of Colton Hood, right? He's highly touted. I think he's definitely top 5 corners in this draft. I would put him at cornerback number 3-4. That's where I would put Colton Hood.
That's actually pretty good, Kaz, because he's in that pool.
Yeah,
in that top 5 corner, in my opinion, so far. I still got
tons to look at. I'm sure.
I ain't gonna say tons. I still got a lot.
Okay.
But this guy is good. I mean, his confidence is.
He should jump out.
Yeah. His confidence is through the moon. You ain't worried about this guy on an island playing some guy one-on-one. You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
It's going to mess you up when I say it.
Don't say it.
Jalen.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Jalen looked just like this when he was at Utah.
How tall is he?
Same size.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. That I wouldn't have guessed that. Okay.
Jalen looked exactly like this when he was at Utah.
But you're saying maybe a little bit faster.
Yeah, he's got better long speed.
Oh, okay. Lord, but look at what White Ghost said.
What is he saying? He was ranked the highest before injury, and there you, of course, you had to point that shit out, Trip. You know what I mean? Like he's a super solid back, man. He's super solid cornerback. I just don't know. I just don't see us doing this. Like we'll see. You know, I don't particularly see us doing this that early in the draft. I can see us going like you kind of can't go wrong selecting corners. You know, year on year, you kind of can't go wrong. So I do expect us to likely draft one. I just don't. I wouldn't think it would be at the top of the draft. Now depends on how this whole thing falls. There are some.
It could shake up now. It could shake up big time.
There's one thing that I have to put into the hearts of all Bears fans now, and so when we were looking at Trey Hendrickson and Max Crosby, what teams were in that market, and where did they fall in the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that it's just a major thing for everybody to understand. If they didn't get an edge, aka Dallas Cowboys, where do you line up in the draft? Are you in front of us or behind us, knowing that this is a major area of concern for you? Fact of the matter is Dallas Cowboys have the 20th pick and we have the 25th. So just to put things into perspective, I would not be surprised, even with that being said. Okay, but they traded out. Okay, I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens. Oh, the Ravens, I think still have pick number 14 somehow. I don't know what. That's right, because they didn't trade it for Max. They kept it and went and got Trey Hendrickson. Don't be surprised if they also double down at the position.
Again, we just don't know.
No, there's too many variables, dog. You're right. Too many.
We just don't know who on their board they value why. You know, I'm just here. What we do on the network, what we do over here is just bring you the players and how that fits into the scheme of things. We won't know until they actually start drafting. But I do have one more guy. He's actually from the SEC, another SEC. No, he's from the ACC, as a matter of fact. But we'll get him up here. This is linebacker Wade Woodaz. He's about 6'3", 235 pounds, out of Clemson. Middle linebacker for sure. One thing, he's played 4 years at Clemson. And the thing I like about him is you can see the 4 years on his play style. You can see the when you got time, in a system and you got time playing a role, and the better you get at it. And that's just with anybody in any part of life, no matter what job you have, the longer you play that role and the longer you play your position, the better you're supposed to get at it, unless you're just a damn lackey. You're just there to collect the check. No, this guy is getting better and better and better the more and more tape you watch. And I watched mostly 2024 and 2025. I mean, 2025, 2024, both of those tapes. And this guy's just constantly getting better. He's getting bigger and stronger as he's doing it too. And so you're talking about a dynamic middle linebacker with range, height, and a little speed to go with that. Wade Woodaz is exactly what you're looking for when you're looking for a middle linebacker, man. He's got good field awareness. In fact, at times they use him as a quasi edge rusher, at times, from a middle linebacker. And that's just the weird defense they played at Clemson. But this dude right here has got it all. He's a total package. Quietly at Clemson, he was a standout player, man. And, you really can't find a whole lot of flaws. Now, if I had to put a question mark beside Wade Woodaz's name as a linebacker, is I'm not sure about his long speed, like over 30 yards or more. I'm not sure about it, but I think he's got it. Sideline to sideline, if he can be that quick and that fast, he can carry a guy 40 yards down the field. I'm just saying. But this is a solid linebacker right here. Wade Woodaz is a complete package as a middle linebacker. And it's a guy that you don't have to worry about getting off the board early. You can wait for him. And you can have a solid linebacker for years to come, middle linebacker. In fact, that's really where we have a need outside of TJ.
Yeah, he looked pretty deep in this. I'm just taking a look at draft stock and getting an understanding of his
Hang on a second. We got some love, kids. Give me a second.
Right on.
Shout out to Charlie Chan with the $9.99 super chat. He said, F Green Bay.
FGB.
And the sentiment is felt and resonating through the room. We totally agree with you. And thank you so much. We appreciate you, man. Get back to your statement, kid.
Yeah, I was just looking at where he lines up potentially in the draft as well as his measurables. 6'3", 240-ish. Sounds good. Looks like he's pretty lengthy. Just looking at him, that's pretty. That's
and he's lean too. There's no real.
Yeah,
he's lean and muscular.
Yeah, that's super solid. I think he's a good look. The guy that I'd like you to take a look at some point is Lander Barton.
Already did.
Did you take a look at Lander Barton? How do you compare?
I got him coming.
How do you compare them though?
Well, Lander Barton is a little bit slower.
He's a little bit longer and
he's longer but slower.
Okay.
But I'll save my take on him until we put him up. We got 30 days to get some guys up here. We'll get some guys up.
All right.
He's definitely one of them.
Right on. I kind of like Lander Barton for potentially all the reasons that you just mentioned here. If you're saying he's a little bit slower, I can understand that he's a bit taller, longer, and weighs a fair amount more. I think he's closer to 255-ish. So to be frank, those would be the two of the guys that I would be looking for a bit later in the draft to fill exactly that middle linebacker depth that I think we're going to need, because I'm not sure who was saying it in the chat. I feel like it was either True Pilgrim or Slimbo Boogie, but potentially, Noah might be on the chopping block. Who knows?
Well, I look at it this way. He reminds me of the middle linebacker in Detroit right now. I just can't think of the cat's name.
Captain Jack.
Yeah, him.
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell.
He's like that. And Jack Campbell's not fast at all. He's not very fast at all. But in a short space, it's not about really your 40 time when you're playing linebacker or defensive line. It's about
more hustle and angles.
It's about your 110 split. It's about your 110 split. It's about your burst. And Jack Campbell's got a pretty decent burst. So does Lander Barton. And he fits that way. And so you need to have a quicker, faster defensive front that can get home in order to justify drafting the Lander Barton. You got to have it. So he doesn't have to be running all goddamn on day. And all he has to do is be quick and fast to the ball when you got a quicker defensive front. And so in that regard, that can make a lot of sense, kids.
Yeah.
But shout out to Charlie Chan for the $9.99 super chat, man. We appreciate you, dog. We needed it. But that's my players for this week, man. I just didn't have a lot of time this week. I just did not. I'm sorry. I wanted to get like 7 up, at least 6 or 7 up there, but we weren't able to do that this week. But we'll make up for it as best we can on some extra sauce on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. But Trips wants to do a little something, and we're gonna try to set the table for him to more Bears conversation. What you want to do, Trip?
All right. Yeah, I was actually just finishing up a little something, but as we are here in draft season, and I know that many of the draft nicks enjoy, this time of year more than actually the season for some strange reason. But it's a time.
We've sucked at football for a couple of years, right? Except for this season. Now things are a little bit different.
And it's like, yeah, can we just Sam, get ahead? Like, no, not now.
Nope.
Now is a much must watch, game time. But as we have gone over some of the players that Nomad has highlighted, and we have previously done some mock drafts, but let's actually, as we build toward the draft, which is a little bit over a month from now, make sure you tune in with us on all three networks, Nomad Network, at Ceds of Canuck, and Sports Chicago Style. Make sure you are subscribed and watch the draft here with us all 3 days. But as we build the board, let's go through the experiment, the fun of actually building the board. And now we're going to do this with Nomad is going to be our scout. And so what we are going to do is, can you see that okay?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to use here what you're looking at for those who are looking, and for those who cannot see, this is a spreadsheet of the draft prospects that are on the draft boards right now by position. And so this is what, let's say, the front offices are looking at, just a board of names. All right, so now what we want to do is go by position group, and we're going to have our scout Nomad put these players in his kennel. These are only dogs. Now, these are not scheme fits. We'll get to that later, and we'll get to the sequential order by positioning, like who's your number one guy, two guy, and so on. But for right now, Nomad in the quarterback room, just identify the dogs for those that you have grinded their film.
Well, let's do the top 2 or 3, man, because we got on the
we could have been halfway down the list by now.
Here you go, being prickly now. We got a mock draft.
Well, you see this spreadsheet. We are gonna do more than 2 names on this goddamn spreadsheet.
This, man, but I'm just saying we got a mock draft we got to do. So let's.
But the thing is, we want to set up the board, and so like the week before the draft, we want to have it so that this row, we have all of your dogs, let's say, and then all of the scheme fits in order. And so it's like your number one guy in the draft will be, we don't know yet. And then we're going to put them in that order. But to do that, we have to identify them.
I get where you're going.
All right. So just like quarterbacks, who are your dogs? If any.
Let me just say, I'm gonna go Ty Simpson, number 1.
Well, you don't have to order them now, because if you haven't seen them all, now you're just identifying your dogs.
Ty Simpson, Taylor Green.
Okay.
Carson Beck. And the first guy up there, he's solid.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, let's leave that there.
All right. So right now, for those listening, Nomad has identified 4 quarterbacks as dogs. Now, the rest, either he has not gotten to or they are not dogs. All right. Now, we're not going to go by 1, 2, 3, 4 yet, because you still may identify others. So that numbering system will come later.
Somehow I think Trips is setting this up for his little thing he wants to do. But we'll do it. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, so, all right, go ahead. Running back room.
The first, let's Jeremiah Love, Mike Washington.
No price though?
Not now.
Okay.
Mike Washington, Emmett Johnson, Damon Claiborne, Seth McGowan, Kalen Black, Le'Veon Moss. We'll just leave it there.
And Le'Veon Moss. All right, those was the running backs. And then you got a few more down there to get through. All right, wide receiver room.
Carnell Tate, Makai Lemon, Jeremy Bernard. Tonio Williams. Malachi Fields. Brennan Thompson. Let's throw Chris Bell in there. It's a lot of dudes. Go back up to the top, Trips. Hold on. Jordan Tyson. And we'll leave that there for now.
All right, tight ends.
Definitely Kenyon Sadiq. Justin Jolly. This is another class I haven't really dug deep into. Max Clare. Oh man, hold on. Slow down. Oh, Michael Gillenborg. John Michael Gillenborg. Let's just leave that there. I'm still on those guys.
All right. Offensive tackles.
The first three for sure. And Caleb Lomu. I got a feeling Blake Miller. And just know, guys, this is just the guys that I've really had some time to really check out so far. Drew Shelton. Go down just a little bit more. Isaiah World. All right, Keegan Tross. That's also a work in progress.
All right. Interior offensive line.
Ione at the top. Pregnon. Connor Liu. Jennings Dunker. I did a little bit more work on these guys. Keelan Rutledge. Jake Slaughter. Sam Heck. Parker Brailsford. Trey Zoom. Pat Coogan and Yeager Burton. No, not Matt Gublin. Yeager Burton and Pat Coogan.
Wait, not Glubin and Coogan. All right.
All right. After you take Gubin off of that, one more guy, Bo Stevens.
Top G work. Paul's giving you big ups for the usage of Google Sheets.
Oh, word.
This is cool. All right, let's get to the next group.
All right, defensive line.
Oh, it's too many to count, man. I've been spending more time. Like, I'm in love with those guys.
Well, anybody that, let's say, not.
Let's start here. Let's go the first three.
Uh-huh.
Lee Hunter. Go down to Daryl Jackson. Dante Corleone. Zane Durant. Tim Keenan. Tyreek Sapp. Caleb Proctor. Let's scroll down just a little bit more. We get one or two more guys. All right. Let's go Tyler One Diem. And Aaron Graves is tough. Let's leave that there.
There's a few more down there. All right, so we're at edge.
Damn, they got Arvell Reese. Yeah, I think he might end up being the edge in the 3-4. Let's go and hit him. David Bailey, Cassius Howell, Keem Mesidor. I'm still not complete on these next 3 guys. I'm more complete on Zion Young than I am on the other 2 guys. So we'll skip those 3 for now. Go to Gabe Akis, Malachi Lawrence, Romello Height. Scroll down a little bit more. Nadame Tucker, Max Llewellyn, and we'll stop there.
All right. And then once, just for those listening, we got top half of this mostly done, and these are Nomad's dogs, and we will come back and do the scheme fits in a minute.
So far.
All right, linebacker. The O is for outside, the I is for inside, and I'm still doing those, but these are all linebackers.
Let's start with Kyle Lewis. Jake Galladay. Rodriguez is the dog. He's just slow a little bit. Let's go and give we talking about dogs, man.
You're not gonna include Sonny Styles in that? Or is that just a given?
He's learning the position. Let's go and give him a highlight. His first year playing linebacker full time, and it's kind of hard to grade that. Let's get Deontay Lawson in there. Torian York, Harold Perkins, Bryce Boucher. Give Lander Barton some love. Oh, Red Murdoch. Oh my God. Justin Jefferson. Aiden Fisher, I'm in the middle of, but don't highlight him yet. Scooby Williams is a monster. Let's leave that there for now.
All right, cornerbacks.
Mansour Delane, McCoy, and Terrell, all the first 4. CC's nice. Pons is also nice. It's too many trips.
Keontae Scott.
David Igbignison.
Okay.
Malik Muhammad.
Yeah.
Chandler Rivers. Will Lee. Hezekiah Masters. And Damani Jackson.
No love for Takario Davis.
I'm still on it.
Okay.
And I can't give you. I can only give you what I'm completely done with. Devon Marshall. Go down a little bit more, Trip. A little more. There's some guys on this list that's not on this list that should be. Okay, we'll leave it there for now.
Well, this is the bottom right here.
Damn, that's a long ass list at corner.
Yeah, there's some dudes down there. Nyland Green is tough. Don't do it. All right, let's go to the next position.
And that is safety.
Caleb Downs, Thieneman, McNeil Warren, AJ Halsey, the first Kamari Ramsey, Traden Stukes, who should be in the cornerback group, but he's a nickel corner. It's probably the best of them besides Thieneman and Downs.
And then those 4.
It's Key Wheatley, Bud Clark, Kilgore.
Yeah.
Lewis Moore's pretty tough. Jalen Husky's nice. Deshaun Singleton's all right too. Oh, Xavier Wonkpa. He's no, don't give him a dog, but he's tough. Keep going. Keep going. Miles Scott. Jalen Catalan. One more. We'll pick one more. Let's go down the list a little bit more. Ooh, Shaheem Brown. Let's call that one for now.
And then that's the end of the list right here.
All right. Let's.
And then you don't know nothing about no kickers though.
No, fuck them.
Or punters.
Who does know anything about?
Well, I don't know. There was one kicker that was kicking 70 yarders and running like a 4.4. So I don't know.
Man,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Working at McDonald's.
All right. So now if we look at it, I'm sorry, wrong way. Now these are all our positions, and these are thus far in highlighted backdrop in orange. You know, Nomad's dogs.
Hold up. We missed a guy.
Who that?
You missed one. D tackle Caden Proctor.
No, you got him.
No, he didn't. I didn't see him highlighted.
Defensive tackle, Caden Proctor.
You just went past him.
Did I? Eastern Bell.
Go back up.
You definitely said him.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. It looked like you didn't.
Yeah, right.
All right. He's definitely a dog.
All right. So now these are all the dogs. Now, before we get to the mock, and we are not going to do the numbering system yet because he hasn't gotten through them all, so just the ones that are highlighted. Which ones are scheme fits for the Bears, offense and or defense?
All right. This is the last thing before we get to this mock draft trips.
Yeah.
Scheme fits at quarterback. Any one of them can fit. Running back, any one of them can fit. Receiver, now that's a little bit more ambiguous because we don't know the body type they're looking for exactly.
Exactly.
And what skill set he brings to the table. One thing I can tell you is they brought in, I think it's Chris, what's his name? Dazon Stribling out of Ole Miss. One thing I can, now he's not on this list. One thing I can tell you about is he's a good possession receiver, but a very good blocker. And so we know Ben Johnson covets that at receiver. And now the scheme fits over here. Any one of these guys could fit. Any single one of them.
Any of the wide receivers?
Yeah, any one. Now, whether they play X, Z, and all that kind of stuff is a conversation for another time. But either one of them can fit. Kenyon Sadiq is at tight end is more weapon than anything else. I'm not gonna say he's strong as shit. If you get him, if you end up drafting a guy, which I doubt we do, because you're gonna have to get him way early, he is gonna be asked to be an inline blocker more than he ever was, and he can do it. I've seen it at Oregon. So the other guys definitely fit. Justin Jolly is another kind of weaponized kind of guy, but he can also get it done in both positions. They all get the memo that not only do you have to be a receiver in any kind of offense, you need to be able to be in line and blocking. And they all get that memo. Every single one of those guys would work. It's just how would he work in this offense?
All right, because now just remember, these are all scheme fits, not just dogs. They're already dogs. We know that. But these are guys that, Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen would be like, yeah, let's go. And John Michael.
Who?
John Michael
Gillenborg.
He fits.
All right. So that's the tight end room. Now we're at offensive tackles.
The thing about half of these guys is if they don't play right tackle, like Drew Shelton is the one that played, to me, the most left tackle out of them all, besides maybe Blake Miller probably played a little bit more. But yeah, the left tackle solely draft is not very rich. I think you're gonna have to look at some of these guys and see what kind of traits they have and do they transfer over. Why you keep moving around, Trip? See if they transfer over to left tackle. And I think all these guys have a skill set. However, I do think a guy like Drew Shelton probably translates a little bit better to guard. He's a bigger body. Much big. He's just a big body. You know, but that's a conversation for a whole other time. They're all fit.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing as Ion. Same thing with him. Pregnon, say the same thing. These are all interior guys that fit. You no need to talk about that. Arvell Reese going all the way over to edge. That's going to be, he might, depending on where they decide to draft a guy like him, it's going to be funny where if somebody asks him just to be a linebacker, play linebacker, be my middle linebacker or my will linebacker, can he be okay with that? He thinks his best position is edge. Now, I'm talking about what he said.
Okay.
I just jumped the gun a little bit, but over to Ruben Bain and the defensive lineman, I think Ruben Bain is going to be more D tackle as his career goes on. I think he can play edge and get you some reps over there, but that's more of a Cam Jordan type of body.
So who would who's Dennis Allen fits in D line?
All three of those guys. Lee
okay,
Hunter.
and for those that can't see the Fits, I'm just changing their name to blue. The non-Fits but dogs remaining in black.
I would highlight more than anything Peter Woods and in this group here, Peter Woods and Lee Hunter in this set. Then Dante Corleone, Zane Durant, and Tim Keenan.
All right.
Caleb Proctor as well.
So any one of these could be our new D tackle. All right, now I guess we're over the edge.
Yeah. David Bailey. Keem Mesidor. Keldrick Falk, but we didn't highlight him. Zion Young. Gabe Akis.
Oops, my bad. Hold on. Wrong one. There we go.
Danny Dennis Sutton. A sleeper down there is Vincent Anthony. And Mikael Kamara. Also George Gums.
All righty. And Gums.
All right, let's keep rolling so we're gonna let Kez take off on his fans.
Right.
I didn't think trying to do all this, man. Golly.
I got to set up the board. We didn't do linebacker. We're on linebacker.
All right. The best fits for us: Galladay, Styles, CJ Allen. The first four.
All first four? Okay. All right. They weren't on the okay. All right, let's do that. And then we will do that.
Kyle Lewis, Deontay Lawson, Harold Perkins. Like the whole goddamn list there.
So all of them?
Yep. And Rare Murdoch.
All right.
Justin Jefferson, Scooby Williams, and whoever else we got highlighted down there.
That's all right now for linebackers. Cornerback, scheme fits for Dennis Allen's defense.
All of them.
All right, and then that makes it easy. At least for these purposes. And then we got a few more down here, and then we'll finish up just about, because punter and kicker are not things right now. So the final grouping that we will colorize for Nomad's dogs as well as scheme fits are the safeties.
You building this up the wrong way, Trips. This is probably something we should have did off camera, man.
No, this is something that you do on camera, because ain't nobody got time to do this bullshit off camera.
Well, we have to, because this is boring as fuck. All those guys.
All right, so this is setting up the board. You know, it's not always sexy. You know, but this is how it's done. So these
anybody that we highlighted.
And so now, once we get all these done, when we come back next week or the next time we do the draft talk, you know, this part's already done. And so we'll just add more players to it as Nomad discovers them, if any. And then, you know, we can take them, and now we'll cut all of these out, and then we'll, you know, progress on, you know, throughout the off season.
All right. We done?
So that's how, you know, we're building this board. You know, this is just the first phase of it. So now we can take a smaller look. Oh, that's too small. And so now you can see here, these are Nomad's dogs, and the ones highlighted in blue are scheme fits. So we will stop this here. We got these still to get through, if any. And then we are building the board, y'all.
Let me answer a quick question. Leo Factor says, Nomad, which interior D-line guy on that list you think Dennis Allen would be asking for? I tell you, the first name that popped up in my head is a guy a little bit further down the line, and that's the Godfather, Dante Corleone. Dante Corleone is definitely a Dennis Allen type guy. Built low to the ground, stocky, run plugger. He's gonna mess it up in the middle for a lot of teams, man. And that's not 3-tech stuff, but these are the kind of guys that Dennis Allen is looking for guys that are built low to the ground and can really get off the ball and get inside your pass blockers or your blockers, period. He's looking for those types of guys. That's just the guy that just jumps off my head. Caleb Proctor is another one. But, you know, some of the higher end guys, Zane Durant, you know, you got your go to the very top of the defensive line and your Peter Woods kind of guys, but those are the kind of guys that stick out to me. All right, Trips, we got to get into some mock draft shit. You do this on your own. Fix this up.
I'm not doing this. I ain't making these picks.
All right, kids, you ready to take off, man? Because you got another perspective as you go into the draft. Now we just did that.
Okay. Yeah. Let me do it on the other console. Bear with me.
Why you getting on me? Why you getting on me, Paul? I'm just like, this is like I prepare for shows. Like I prepare for shows. One thing you can know about me is I prepare for shows. I wasn't prepared for this. We talked about it, and I was telling Tripp something off camera about it. I didn't know he wanted to do that tonight. You know, but that's what I'm talking about. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. I love to talk about where I think these guys rank up. I just wasn't prepared for it right now. That's all. But let's pull up that simulator, you guys. Let's get it popping.
You gonna do that, kids?
I got you.
All right, huh?
If he's gonna be drafting, I think you should, Trips.
All right, Trip, you can pull it up.
I've already shined with that. Let him shine with this draft.
All right, which one were you using?
You can use the stick to the model, actually. Up to you, though.
Oh, okay. All right. 1 second here. Let me hold on. Stick to the model. Okay, let me go there. And then click on there. What are we doing? We're draft simulating. So I will click there. And I have to reload that. And then I have to share the screen over here, which I will do
All right.
here.
No ham-handed moves. Without some consultation.
And boom. There it is.
All right, Trip. All right, kids.
No ham-handed moves?
Without some consultation, man. Let's do this.
Can you
I'm not gonna intervene unless you say something to me.
All right. Can you see it?
I can.
You might want to blow it up a little more though.
We'll make it full screen. I got you.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, let me get in here. All right. Wait, one more.
If y'all can see it well in the chat, somebody give me a thumbs up, please.
How's that looking?
Looks decent. You might want to adjust a little bit larger. But tell me if that affects your overall view.
Hold on.
That's good. That looks good.
Yeah, that's better.
From my perspective.
All right. There you go. All right. Yeah, I'll just be here. You just tell me what to click on.
All right. You can click on that start button.
Oh.
As discovered previously, trading up is probably not in the cards. So we'll let this thing ride out and see what goes down.
All right. Before you take off on the first pick, remember what we done in free agency.
Yeah. Look at those trades. Nothing I'm willing to take. Let's close it.
Yeah, so from 25 to 33, 27, 32, and 46, and future seconds.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
First, let's read to the chat what was being offered to you, because I'm not sure everybody can see this the right way. The Jets.
Okay. All right, so 4 trade offers, all of which consist of future second rounders, but you can trade back to the 27, 32, 33, or 46 pick. Interested in any of those?
No dice for me. I'm only interested in trading for stuff that'll give me more stock in this year's draft. So I'm not.
What I think Patrick wants to see is a counter trade offer. We haven't done much of that. So that means putting your thinking cap on a little bit, kids. Here, if you see something that you quasi like, let's see what that looks like.
Here, hold on. That makes things a bit easier for me. 25 to 33 to 27, San Francisco.
Big Cheese says he thank you for reading it because he still can't see the shit.
Yeah, okay. I had to blow it up on my. I had to blow it up on my screen too. There, Big Cheese. It's a bit small. See, another 32.
If you got a little bit more zoom, Trips, it'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I ain't that interested in any of these trades at all, unless you like.
Yeah, now we can't see the whole screen.
Hold on, y'all. We got a little bit of love going on. Let me get to that real quick. Give me a second. Leo Factor with the $4.99 super chat. Leo, you know we love you, bro.
Big ups, Leo.
Yeah, this is as big as it gets because the other one distorts the screen.
All right, that's good. Good enough. We just have to explain it out from here on, man. So,
okay, so just do me a favor, close this for a second before we go through this thing once more. Slowly scroll down the left-hand side for me, please. Thank you.
what you trying to get at, kid?
Okay. I'm just trying to see very, very quickly if Mesidor is taken. I don't see him being taken yet. He must still be on the board here somewhere.
I think that's if he's there, he's the most sensible move.
Right there.
There he is.
And you have to take him.
That's where my head and my heart is. If Mesidor is on the board, I would be looking at that edge rusher come hell or high water right now. So that's what are your thoughts, Nomad?
Well, just a quick question to Trips. By his logic, they brought Akeem Mesidor in for 30. It's not confirmed, but this is what I heard. And if that's the case, and they don't plan on drafting him, well, how do you explain that? Because I do think
it's unconfirmed. There's no documentation that they actually did this. So they probably did, like they probably did bring him in because they have interest in him, but didn't want to document it so that folks don't really know.
Well, it is definitely not on the confirmed list.
That's it. That's how you do it. You bring him in on the low, you have a conversation with the kid, and you don't tell people about it. You don't publicize that conversation at all.
All right, kids, let me have a real conversation with you as your assistant GM. Do you think this guy's a plug-and-play starter? Because we didn't move heavily in the edge section in free agency. We have a chance to get a young player at 25 who's almost at his ceiling and can play right now. Do you think this is the right move for us right now?
Why I'm confident in this move is actually not because he's an edge rusher. It's because he's both an edge rusher and a DT. He spent 2 years in college at the DT position playing 3-tech. He can do either and or. Mm-hmm. So
there you go.
On the line, because we need support in both of those perspectives, if we're talking about maybe moving on for Javon Dexter, perhaps we actually have our 3-tech in Mesidor, and you line him up beside Austin Booker. Same token, from a rotational perspective, you can rotate him in on the edge and put somebody else in at that at his position for run stop. He fits the mold in a major way.
Okay,
and that's why we're about to pick him with our first.
Now, because it's my job to really push you and make sure that we get the right draft pick at this moment, I'm going to make a case for Dylan Thieneman at safety because we lost Kevin Byard, and because Mesidor is a few slots down. Just take that. He's a few slots down. Maybe, I don't know, at some point, I don't know if we can slow this thing down and offer the next Minnesota Vikings or San Francisco an offer. But maybe that's a thought too. Maybe Dylan Thieneman, and then try to move up to get Akeem Mesidor as well. Let's try that if we can do that in this simulator.
So what do you want to do?
Here's what he wants to do. Back out of here. Oh, create trade. Go to San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely looking for another edge rusher.
Like this is going to cost us a fortune.
What do you mean by a fortune?
You're about to find out. I'm very happy to get my safety in the second round. So we want pick number 27 for San Francisco. That's what we want. We're willing to put up pick. God. pick number 60. And we're willing to put up a third rounder next year. Like that. What does that give us? No. Make it a second rounder next year.
No.
You might have to give up a first to get to this.
All right, make it a first rounder next year. Like this is very.
Yeah, they'll accept that. So you're giving up Pixie and your 2027 first round pick.
Make
and
it
then you're getting exactly what you're looking for in this draft because you didn't replace it in free agency.
Hold on now, make it 89. Take number 60 off. Let's see what 89 looks like. Let's go.
That's below, but propose and they reject it.
Okay, we're gonna go back. We'll throw a late round pick in there too.
I like this. Exercising some options here.
So what?
So first rounder next year, pick number 89, which is super duper close. And scroll down and pick one of our later round. Pick one of these.
Hey, Scrolls, anybody see
your value offered is 207
to
216. And these aren't going to move the needle, these 1-and-1s.
Shit.
Now you have to give up 129 to make it happen.
That does make it happen.
But now you're cutting out you already giving them the first round of next year. Now you're giving up this year's picks too,
So this is the problem. So let's not do 129 this year. Let's go back to scroll down. Oh, you took it off. Select a fourth rounder next year. See if that fits the bill. That does. Proposed trade.
Nope.
Rejected.
You're offered 219, difference 3 points. For some reason they say no.
Go on and give it up. Give up that one.
I already gave up the one. I mean, you got to give up more than the one because the one's already gone. So the 1 plus 89 plus what?
You can't give up any future.
So we can give a third
in the future.
You can give it 28.
Try that.
Okay, 28 third.
Accept it. All right,
That's
so
wild, fair. That's crazy, but I don't mind how that actually shook out. To be frank with y'all, okay, that's
so
not.
You gave up like a lot for what?
2 players that you need.
So in this scenario, we are going to take Dylan Thieneman at 25.
Look at the fake news in here.
Then you're back on the board.
We're going to take very clearly Akeem Mesidor at 20. So hold on. Before we press that draft, click on trade for me, please. Let me see if the trades look any better here.
All right,
no.
So to go from 27 to go from 42 in a future second, and to go to 37 in a future second.
Don't fuck with it, kid. You're gonna get juiced.
No. So let's go ahead and pick Akeem.
We have our 25-year-old.
We have our edge slash DT.
I love it.
And you have 5 picks remaining.
And you got options to trade back a little bit and get you some more capital. Look at what our trade.
Yeah, click on trade here right now.
All right, to go from 57, Miami's offering 75 and 87. Eagles are offering 68 and 98.
I'd take the first one.
I love both these trades. We're gonna press close though. I love both these trades. I'm just hoping I can get something very similar.
You need volume now because you just gave up some capital.
I actually really like where we are right now though. What are your thoughts on Jake Galladay right here and or Jacob Rodriguez right here?
Neither one of them are as good as the as some of the move downs you're going to get. Neither one.
Okay, then we're gonna look at that trade situation again. We're gonna take.
You're trying to redeem yourself from what
we're gonna take 68 and 90. No, we'll take the Miami. It's fine.
That's how. Let's use that as our one trade back. Unless you see something you can't.
Well, I would almost do it again, depending on what look at it.
Let's try to go for right now. You're on the board at 60. The offers are from Carolina to go to 83 and 119. The Colts to go to 78 and they'll give you 113. New Orleans to go to 73 and they'll throw in 92. Philly to go to 68 and they'll throw in 98. And Seattle to move back one spot to 61 and a future third.
So, given what Patrick Higgins is saying here, I'm going to go with the Philly trade here as well.
Hold on, Ed. You're moving back a lot now. Okay, I'm gonna roll with this, and I'm gonna be.
It's only 8 selections, and I'm doing it strictly because I get a selection in this draft now. So I just scored 2 more picks, and I think that'll really help us round everything out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this Philadelphia trade trip.
I'm gonna co-sign that. That's make sure that's the last trade back. So
I'm good. Now that we've got 2 more, I think we can really do some damage.
So now your picks remaining are 68, 75, 87, 98, 129, 239, and 241.
I'd say look at receiver or linebacker here.
I'm actually going to look at running back because
now you're going to be ham-handed.
No. I just scored 2. I have 2. I've nailed the 2 major issues on the team. There's more that I can do, but these 2, I have 2 luxury selections now. So look at linebacker for me, please. Sorry, my bad. Running back. Pardon me. Yeah, there he is.
Okay.
Before we do that, my next selection is.
At least look at the linebackers.
You're at 68 now, and then 75 and 87.
Yeah. So I want Kyle Lewis and Mike Washington, and I think I can get them both here with these next 2 selections. I think I can get Kyle Lewis with my next selection. Let's go all. I just want to see all. Yeah.
Let's see. You got to vote for trading Stooks.
Trading Stooks is a what? Safety? I just picked safety, bro.
No, he's a slot corner, boundary corner. He can play any corner or safety if you need him to. He's good. He's really good.
And we've already addressed safety with Thieneman and edge with Mesidor.
Okay. I'm selecting Mike Washington here. Do you have an issue with that, Nomad?
I don't have an issue with anything. I'm just gonna counter if I can.
Yes.
If that's what you want, go ahead and do it.
I think he'll be gone by the time I make another move here. And I'm hoping, and I hoped with the right intentions,
there you go,
that Kyle Lewis would still be on the board, and there he is. So there's our outside linebacker again. Thoughts in respect to that? None taken. The draft button has been pressed.
I thought that's what you wanted.
It's all good. It is what I wanted. So at 87 now.
All right, now you're at 87. Remaining picks are 98, 129, 239, and 241. You got 2 trade offers to go with Dallas from 87 back to 112, and they throw in a 152, or the Chefs to go from 87 to 109, and they throw in a 148.
So I'm just not going to be a general jerk here tonight. We're going to finish this draft with the remaining 4 selections that we have. I think, there's some good. Do me a favor, go to wide receiver for me, please. Wow.
Target 4.26 action.
Target Bryce Lance here.
That's what I was like. If I do that, if I target Bryce Lance, I'm making a trade to get him.
But I think you have to get into the trenches.
I agree
because of where Bryce Lance is.
I agree. So so I've got like Daryl Jackson would be a great addition here, unless we look at the offensive side of the ball. Let's look at offensive line. Oh, Corleone's a little bit further back. As a matter of fact, holy crap. Go to those trades again.
Back to 109 or 112 and pick up a 148 or 152.
All right, close this. There's something else I wanted to see. What did I want to see? Oh, I want to see center, please. Interior O-line, Iowa.
So the first one on the board is number 92. We're at pick 87, so not a reach, and that would be Logan Jones. I think I saw somebody say that his comp is Linderbaum bound. Tyler.
He's nice. I think highly of him. I just want to challenge kids with this. You got an edge, you got a safety. What else you get? You get a running back. But you didn't do anything on the interior of your D line. You didn't get 3 tech, you didn't get nose guard yet.
Yeah, but I'm looking at okay. Let's explore what he's saying. So we're gonna go back to the interior line. I can look at Daryl Jackson right now. Grayson Halton is usually my general target when I'm looking at these things. But scroll down. Where's your boy Corleone? There's Corleone, a fair amount further back. Like I could look at Corleone.
He's a nose guard.
Do I need a 3?
Got Caleb Proctor down here too still.
I think in my opinion, you should be looking at a 3 technique here. Go back to the top, Trish. Just slow down. Stop.
Yeah, okay, go back to the top. DeMonte Capehart would be the later round 3 tech I would look at. Usually I'm looking at Grayson Holland, likely with my next selection. Scroll up.
This is the top right here.
This is the top?
Yeah.
Daryl Jackson.
Yeah, he's the top.
So these would be the 2 guys that I would be looking at in this position. Daryl Jackson, Grayson Halton. What are your thoughts?
Either one of them. Daryl Jackson is the more ferocious of the 2. Daryl Jackson is much more tenacious.
Okay.
And just numbers wise, Jackson is 91, Halton's 97. We're at 87, where you're picking now.
And this is sort of what I'm thinking. Let's go back to all, Chuck. And Logan Jones is right beside him. I don't know, but if Logan Jones' comp is,
he's an offensive lineman, man. You can get a
Linderbaum
anywhere. You can get a Logan Jones any fucking where.
Are you kidding me? We've been searching for offensive linemen for 20 years.
Don't be silly, man. Take the top notch.
I mean, you got Logan, you got Slaughter.
And my next selection is when, Trip?
Your picks. The next one after this one at 87 is 98, 129, 239, 241.
Trust me, kids, I can help you down the line with the O line. Get your top notch defensive tackle.
All right. I'm gonna take your advice. Let's go with Daryl Jackson.
Done. All right. So you are back on the board. Clock.
Now, in my opinion, you look O-line or you look receiver.
Now you do have trades. You're at 98 now. Green Bay 120, and they'll give you 160. Houston move back to 106. They'll give you 167. The Rams move back to 118. They'll give you 128. And the Giants move back 7 spots to 105, and they'll give you 145.
So I'm gonna take the Giants trade.
Hold on, kids. I said receiver. I think you need to look corner and O-line.
And you have 4 picks remaining. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 7th.
I think I'm gonna take that trade.
Which one?
That one, the Giants trade.
The Giants to go 105, 145.
Just like Patrick Higgins is saying. Yeah, let's go Giants trade.
All right, that is sent. Now you are back on the clock.
Beautiful. So here we're going to select. Here we're going to select Bryce Lance, wide receiver.
Bryce Lance, wide receiver, is selected. All right, so now remaining picks 129, 145, 239, and 241. So 4 picks remaining as you are on the clock.
No more trades, man.
No more trades at all. I want to select a cornerback here or a center. I do see Crown over there. Matt Gulbin, Drew Bowery. Go straight to corner for me, bro.
Slow down, Trips.
Yeah, stay at the top.
That is the top.
This is the top? Okay. Okay, I want you to put a star beside Hezekiah Massis. Out of these corners here, sir, who do you rate?
Because Hezekiah Massis, I think, is going to land as a slot corner, and we've done already what we needed to do in free agency for that position, and I don't think that's not necessary right now. So Domani Jackson is the best player available as far as that goes, and he's tough.
Okay, put a star beside Domani Jackson. We can get him at 145. Anybody else that you would?
Devon Marshall is tough.
Okay, one more. Okay.
All
right. Anyone else?
Yeah, there's a few of them, but we'll keep going.
Okay. So we're gonna get the corner at 145. At 129, let's go back to interior offensive line. Jaeger Burton, thoughts?
Center or interior guard, interior offensive lineman.
Any good?
He's tough.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Worth drafting at 129?
Not over Domani Jackson.
I'll get Domani Jackson at 145.
Okay. Bo Stevens is also very, very tough and can play center.
He's much further back.
Yeah. If you just insist on getting a center, if that's your intention, then Yeah.
You prefer Bo Stevens to Yeager?
No.
No.
I'd say Yeager.
Just put a star beside Yeager Burton for me, please. Anything else that I really need at this present time? Eli Reardon. I wouldn't be tight end fishing in this draft, just considering what we did last year, and we still have Cole Kmet under contract for this year. We do need some depth at the position. I hear you, but I wouldn't be fishing for depth at tight end right now. And he's like right there at 120.
If I were you, based on what we did in free agency, the interior of the offensive line would be the last pick I make. And trust me, you got me here.
Okay. That's so 129, 145. Okay. Let's go tackle, offensive tackle. What about Captain Boston College Jude Bowery on the left-hand side?
There you go.
All right.
If that's where you want to go, yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at what I haven't addressed thus far. I think this is a good look, actually, right here. Now I'm talking Boston College. There's two more.
How many picks you got left, kid?
4.
And I think it's a good place to
5.
double down on that defensive tackle, and then get some of your other ancillary pieces.
I'm gonna go back to DT.
Yeah.
Go to the line and see if anything viable has been left over.
Oh, it's a lot.
Zane Durant.
That's great. Caleb Proctor.
Devontae.
Go all the way to the top there. Now it's about what you're looking for. You're looking for a plug. You're looking for a 3 technique. You already got your plug in Daryl Jackson. 3 technique is Zane Durant.
I thought Daryl Jackson was listed as a 3.
Trust me, he ain't. I think it's Zane Durant or Caleb Proctor. And if you want to wait on that, Caleb Proctor.
I think I do. Let me just click on what my picks are one more time.
Target Caleb Proctor is what you want to do.
1, 2, 3, 4. So I can get Proctor at 145, much like I can the corners. So let's go to all. I'm just trying to figure out what do I do right here, right now, and go right to the top for me at all. Cronovers at 131. Rep pick number 129. Tight end. DeMonte Capart. Okay. We're gonna select Zane Durant. Is that cool, or do you think I should wait for Proctor?
That one's up to you. I think Zane Durant is young Grady Jarrett, and that's a problem.
That's not a good comp.
A young Grady Jarrett is a problem.
Yeah.
I think that's a good pick. Great pick.
Which one?
Zane Durant.
Oh, young Grady Jarrett. Sorry, I'm thinking
younger Grady Jarrett.
I'm thinking young. My bad.
If you get this, you tearing it up. But Caleb Proctor, you ain't gonna miss with him either. But if that's what, yeah, Zane Durant, you can't go wrong here.
Okay. Zane Durant.
All right, you're up there at 145. And after this, you get 2 more picks, 239 and 241.
We're going to look at that cornerback list.
Ooh.
There he is.
Damani, you got to get it.
That was our target at 145. So let's nail that down right now.
All right. So now you got 2 more picks, 239 and 241.
So I'm hoping at this stage of the draft, John Michael Gillenborg is floating around here. Let's see if he gets snaked up.
You still need to. You want to address your interior offensive
Here he
line.
comes. There he goes.
Oh, damn it! So you were saying Nomad?
Interior offensive line or whatever. Offensive line is where you want to go here.
All right. Now, just to recap, see at 25, you get safety Thieneman. Then after a trade, Mesidor for edge. Couple more trades. Running back Mike Washington Jr. Outside linebacker Kyle Lewis. 3 tech Daryl Jackson. Another trade. Then wide receiver Bryce Lance. 3 tech Zane Durant and cornerback Damani Jackson. And 2 more picks, of which you are on the clock.
Hey, trust me, Paul. I tried to tell him. It ain't gonna be that many players.
The only reason I did this,
they thirsty when it comes to this mock draft and shit, man. So
the only reason why I did those trades is because of the trade that we did in the first round. We made a trade with San Francisco that would have cost us a couple of positions. So the thought was get those picks back and fill out this squad. This is what it looks like.
Diego Pons. That's a guard. That's a center. That's any tackle. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a guard. But
we at the top of the list here, Trip.
Yeah.
Edge.
You see he's highlighted, don't you?
I do. It's weird that he's highlighted and nobody else is.
Yeah,
click on Diego Pons for me, bro.
Well, that's because he's the offensive tackle, and that's still a need.
Oh, that's why. It's very
you
slick.
See up here your needs,
and
then so it stays highlighted if you still have it, but since you've already picked the edge, it darkens.
I didn't realize that. So click on offensive tackle just for shits and giggles.
By the way, Diego Pons is a goddamn monster.
All right, so let's select Diego Pons here.
All right, and now your last pick in Europe.
And what is my slot receiver? 5 tech offensive guard. I'm going to live with the guards we have on the team now. Let's look at wide receiver. Oh, there's one right there. Xavier Thomas. Thoughts?
It's a good one.
I mean, 5'10", 190, 148.
That's obviously your intention.
What?
We just got number 11 from Detroit. That's gonna be your slot receiver.
Yeah,
we got him for a year. So that being said, I tell you right now, Hank Beatty is a problem out of Illinois. He's just good at all kinds of different things. But we have the little guy from TCU we have on the practice squad that we're going to give him a chance. I think receiver is a bad choice right here.
Well, I'm just saying the Sim is saying that is the last need that we have with this final selection. What are you thinking outside of Xavier Thomas?
I think it's a good time. You only got one edge rush. I think it's a good time to get a guy that you can work with or D tackle.
No, I'm taking this wide receiver, man.
All right, because what is that? Barlissimo saying Xavier Thomas. He played outside, inside, running back. Come around. Who's that?
No, he
could block. He was playing the DJ Moore role at LSU.
He's tough now. I ain't taking nothing from him. Kobe Young.
I think we've done the work we need to do. We do have depth at that edge on the team already, plus what we've drafted. I think we're okay here. Like the only thing that before you press draft, click on IOL. Anything jump? I'm interested in a center if there's a notable center here, but very doubtful at this place in the draft.
It is this centers there, man. If that's what you want.
You see any here, Trip?
Nah, I don't know nothing about these dudes.
Well, I'm just saying I don't see anybody even identified as a center here.
Well, OGIOLs, nothing OC.
Yeah. All right, we're going with Xavier Thomas.
Where's that? Wide receiver?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So that will complete your drafting for the day as we wrap up. And the summary,
This is
you
a
got
hell
a
of a
B
draft.
plus draft grade. And so at 25, you took a safety at Fenneman. You got a B on that. Mesidor, you got a nice solid B at 27 for your edge. After a couple trades, you got a C plus for drafting Mike Washington at 68. Kyle Lewis, your outside linebacker at 75. You got a grade of a B, but an A minus for taking Darrell Jackson, your 3 tech at 87. Wide receiver Bryce Lance at 105 netted you a B grade. 129, you took your 3 tech Zane DeGrant, A minus. 145, cornerback Damani Jackson, A minus. 239, offensive tackle Diego Pounds, B plus.
They like that one at 239.
And your final selection at 241, Xavier Thomas, your wide receiver slot returner, kind of do it all, gave you a B.
Well, let's just shrink it down so where we can see the whole draft trips.
Let me see where that is. Hold on. There's a lot of information going on down here.
See, they hated our trade up, and that's kind of why I had to make up for it with them remaining trades.
All right, so if you can expand that a little bit.
No, that's it.
All right. This is don't move around. This is a good draft, kids. You want to explain what you did here?
Sure. So areas of concern, safety, very specifically, and to that respect, we were trying to determine what we do at 25 and whether that was draft best player available in Dylan Thieneman versus the edge rusher we actually need for this team / 3 tech Akeem Mesidor. What we came up with was let's go fleece the San Francisco 49ers. And we did. They were able to give us pick number 27. We gave them our first next year and a couple more things to make it worth their while. That being said, -9 on the trade, but we were able to secure both Dylan Thieneman at the safety position and Akeem Mesidor, our new edge rusher. With picks number 57 as well as pick number 60, we decided to trade back some more and replenish the picks that we lost in the initial in that trade up. Now we have some room to move, and with respect to moving and room, not a lot of guys can make room and move like Mike Washington Jr. So we got Mike Washington Jr. He is going to be our bell cow back somewhere behind DeAndre Swift as he grows into the role. Again, DeAndre Swift's contract ends next season. We're going to need a guy, and that's our guy. Kyle Lewis moves forward at the outside linebacker position at number 75 selection. Darrell Jackson is next up at the 3 tech position. So we've got some body there with respect to a potential Gervon Dexter move, considering what we were talking about earlier in the pod. Maybe he Drew Rosenhaus finds a new home for Gervon, and if that's the case, we're going to need to have a viable rotation at the position moving forward. So there he is. Bryce Lance, notable wide receiver. We have looked at him a few times over the season already. I like what he brings to the table, and I think he would be a great addition to the team. He's not going to be your slot receiver, but he's gonna be fighting things out alongside Luther Burden, Romo Dunze, and Jade Walker for supremacy on that outside. Zane Durant, another 3-tech. So now we've got a real solid 3-tech rotation with Daryl Jackson, who, as Nomad is stating, might wind up being our 1-tech at the end of the day. But once again, with Akeem Mesidor on the inside. Damani Jackson, there's your cornerback. Need a little bit of love at the position. Diego Pounds, offensive tackle. We could always use some help on that left-hand side. We'll see what we do with Mr. Pounds. And Xavier Thomas, inside interior for the slot. We have a 1-year deal with Khalif Raymond. Once that's done, hopefully we'll have an understanding as to whether J.P. Richardson or Xavier Thomas is our guy moving forward at the slot position. So try to basically round out and get everything that we need to make a go in 2026, and that's what it looks like.
All right, Trips, if you can scroll right back to the top of that. I love the picks, kid. I'll just say that this is a good draft. Now, fussing about where you got who, where, that's a whole other thing. That's not what we're here to do. We're talking about replenishment of the roster. When we stay in that lane, you've done a job. Let's just say yeoman's work there.
Thank you, sir.
Making sure that the roster's replenished. What you gave up and what you let get out of the building, you did a good job of making sure that you replenish that with the picks that you have. The whole thing with Mike Washington being picked there, I think he's such a good running back. I can't really argue with that at all. That's a guy. That's a guy. There's not a player on this draft that I don't think can come in and that can't come in and contribute right away. Not a one. Not a one. And with 22 roster spots open, or 21, however many there are, you've done a good job of making sure that you got guys that you picked in this draft that can come in there and fill in those roles right now. So hell of a draft, man. This is good. I was just trying to be your side piece, your wingman on this, and good on you, man. This is a good draft, kids. This is just, I can't say enough about this. This is a really good draft.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think again, the intention was to touch on all of the areas of concern, and I think we've done that, maybe with a slight exception of center. We did some work at the center position in the off season. Maybe again, that's your point of contention, depending on how it shakes out next year. But at this present time, looking at what I put down here, I think we've got a really, really decent looking squad to complement what we've done in what we've done in free agency.
So Leo wants to know, he's like, who's our free safety and strong safety now with this draft? And if you don't mind, I'll answer that.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, with what we have with Kobe Bryant, I think you leave Thieneman out top. And that's your free safety.
So Thieneman's a free and Kobe Bryant is a strong.
Bigger player, not only because he's a bigger player, and actually it should work in reverse. The bigger player should be playing in the box. But I think Thieneman has such good instincts and such good, they both of those players have kind of the exact same attributes, but a bigger player that has a little bit more range, longer arms, longer legs. He can close on the ball, make a play on the ball a little bit better than Kobe Bryant can, because Kobe Bryant's a little shorter arms, and Thieneman has traits to him that I think he plays the Kevin Byard role in this defense.
Perfect. Yeah, I will be surprised if Ben Johnson doesn't make some sort of a wild running back move in this draft. It's either a running back or a wide receiver. So keep your eyes peeled. Something on the offense is going to happen. I know it is. I'm just not sure what. I can see the Mike Washington thing happening. Just saying.
All right. we're gonna take this down, man. We're gonna have a little conversation.
Much as y'all hate it.
I don't hate. I don't. You talking about
not you. I'm talking to the chat right now. This is me. This is me in the chat.
Hey, this is this good draft, man. Our best thing I can tell you is screenshot that and put it out there on social media. Best thing I can tell you. It's a good draft. Really good draft. Might be the best one I've seen so far. And that's because of what you had to do to attain Akeem Mesidor. And there might be some people that argue, whoa, kids, you gave up capital. Yeah, that's what you have to do to get a better player. Period. You want to get what, if you need what you need and you need to get what you need, guess what? You had to give something to get something. And
well,
I appreciate what you went through to get it.
Look, I'm not a fan of what we did there to do that. I'll be honest about it. But at the same time, anything that allows me to fleece the San Francisco 49ers is a good thing. So let me be completely honest about it.
Guess what? For the fans of the Nomad Network and Sports Chicago Style and Kids of Canuck, I don't think we've done that yet.
Never.
And that's a good exercise to see what it might have to take to sweeten up a pot to get a player that you really covet.
Well, in this case, to get both the players you really covet, because it's not just Akeem, it is Akeem and Dylan, and having the ability to do exactly that. So that's not really on the docket in most mock drafts. Most mock drafts will grab the one player and keep him moving, and I agree with that. Under normal pretenses, that's what I was planning to do, but we did something a little bit different this time around. We spent a little bit of capital. We lost out on a number one selection, first round selection next year. Why I'm actually comfortable with that? Because if we perform well this year, it's probably going to be towards the back of the first round anyways.
All right. I'll tell you what, Trips, good job managing things, man, and making sure the filter was there. You kept things rolling. Good job, man. I'm getting used to you doing this role and being opposite of what Kez normally does, and you're doing a hell of a job, man. That was good on that simulator, man. You was really, really on point there, man. That was really good, dog.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, you did the darn thing beautifully, sir.
Cool. What do you think about it, Trips? You saw it all play out, and you were operating. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I mean, that's the thing, though. There's many different directions that you can go, and that's not even including trades. Because Kids, Nomad, everybody in the chats right now on all three networks will guarantee dollars to donuts, that expression, that Ryan Poles will be making some trades during the draft. Will they be up? Will they be down? We don't know. But I think given his history, that if he does not make any trades, that will be out of his normal MO, his normal modus operandi. So doing the experiments of trading up, sure, giving up future capital and trading back, a little bit of both. That's just kind of a Ryan Poles thing. So go through, make your draft board, I know, because I know like Barlissimo and all the draft nicks already got their boards. They probably got all the colors and pictures and all that shit. But, then you star them, it's like, who's your number one, number two, number three at each position? And then, you're just like, all right, now you're going to hone it in because the draft's only a month away, scant amount of time to do this. So glad that, we could be entertaining and give you different perspectives of it. So it's like, hey, only a little more than a month away, but make sure you are here for the live draft call so we can see how many of these players we're cheering for when they're selected.
Okay, let me kind of I'm around the curve a little bit on this whole draft conversation, the Bears conversation. We're talking about free agency. We're talking about this draft that just happened. I'm around the curve a little bit and kind of prick a little bit. Now, with what we know, we just let Kevin Byard get out of the building. We just let Jaquan Brisker get out of the building. We just let Nahshon Wright get out of the building. Those three guys in particular, hell, I didn't know we were going to be talking about Nahshon Wright in the offseason as a guy that we wish we can hold on to. But as the conversations persisted since the season ended, we kind of felt like Nahshon Wright would be a guy that's going to probably be out of our price range. He's a Pro Bowler from the goddamn practice squad, right? We kind of knew that Nahshon Wright wouldn't be back in the building. I was prepared for that mentally.
Me too.
Kevin Byard, I really thought they were going to find a way to bring him back. But as the free agency period went along and they weren't jumping all over that, trying to make sure they gave him a contract, and that surprised me. It surprised me. Jaquan Brisker definitely did not. At the end of the day, those three pieces in particular left some pretty, I'll just say, deep wounds for a lot of Bears fans out there. Like, what are we going to do now without those guys? What are we going to do to replace them? That happened. And then we let Bill go. Bill was a cog in our defense for the last couple of years. And everybody's like, okay, what are we going to do to replace that? We signed some other guys. And so what I say to what Kez just did in this draft versus what we let go, I think he rounded that shit to home plate very well per that draft. That was exactly what you have to do when you let go of those particular kinds of players. You have to make sure you replenish the depth. And so it was done right, man. That was done right and almost as realistic as I can imagine. Maybe minus a trade or two, but that was done very realistically, in my opinion.
Cool. Yeah. Like I said, that was that was what I had in mind, was again to replenish exactly that depth. And that includes at the wide receiver position with DJ Moore gone too. You know, the one guy that you didn't happen to mention there. You really focused on defense, but yeah, that was the other area that I kind of kept in mind. The running back was again a luxury thing because of those trades that I made, but I can only see potentially the Bears moving away from DeAndre Swift and the price tag, more so the price tag thereof, in the year to come. Not this year. I don't see that happening unless Mike Washington shows up on the team, just goes ham, which could also happen, but doubtful. My thoughts is DeAndre Swift is your back in the year 2026, but come 2027, with the knowledge that Mike Washington has sort of stepped into himself, with the knowledge that Kyle Monangai is just continuing down the path that he is, we've got a much lesser costing running back room that might actually be improved as well. So that was really the thoughts there. But the two wide receivers behind A, the slot, B, the outside, I think really helps out Ben and what he's trying to do. To be frank, I wasn't really looking for a slot at the back end, but I do like the Xavier selection. I was hoping for a tight end. I was hoping for John Michael Gillenborg. Sometimes he falls in and around there. If he did, I would have definitely selected the tight end at that.
Because Kev, we did let Durham Smythe get away in free agency, and he was a key piece.
This is it. Right. And same token, not just the fact that Darren moved, this would give us the opportunity to really test out the tight end position with Gillenborg, and whether, very similar to DeAndre Swift, we're walking into, I believe, contract year for Cole Kmet next year. And this would give us some breathing room in that regard as well.
There's a couple things that we wouldn't have been able to do without Durham Smythe when Colston was hurt.
Yeah, he came in and really helped out. He actually did. it's going to be interesting to see what they do at the position before we get into full go this season. I think I more than think it's likely that we'll have another tight end on the squad. The question to me is now, who do you get that guy in the draft, or do you find him in free agency?
I think they made a trade for Durham Smythe.
When?
I'm not sure, but I want to say that they might have made a trade to get Durham Smythe.
Durham Smythe.
You might be right. Did they? Was there capital involved with that? So he was on. Durham Smythe was on Miami before. Is that right?
Yeah. I want to say they made a trade, but I might be wrong. They might have got him in free agency, but it feels like they made a trade for him.
You might be right. The only trades that I recall right now that
I think it was like a 6th rounder, maybe.
It might have been a 6th, which then it might have been a 6th rounder. Maybe it was just a swap. Maybe we swapped a 6 for a 7. That would explain why we have 2 7s. Maybe
something like that.
Something like that. Because I thought we spent a 6th on Joe Tryon-Trianka.
Yeah. Regardless, they knew exactly what they were looking for in traits in Durham Smythe. They knew what they were going to get in Durham Smythe, and they got it. And so far, there's not been a move to replace what he can bring to the table. Do we have that on the practice squad? I'm not sure. I don't think they know that. There's a couple of guys that are out there on the practice squad that they want to give an opportunity to, but that goes to what I was talking about at the middle part of the show when we were talking about what do you do when you just replenish your coaches and they want to go into the season and not tear it down and just patch it up. Durham Smythe happened to be part of that patch it up process. He happened to be. I think they traded for him.
Not sure if he's a free agent, man. You might be right.
And so, how do they go about that in year 2? Do they go and draft that, or do they go to the free agent market? Now that particular player can wait until way later on, like June 1st designations and shit like that. That could happen somewhere around then. There's no urgency to draft or pick up a guy like that. Not right now. When you got somebody you might have targeted as somebody that might get let go, or somebody can't afford a guy. It could be a lot of things going on there. I don't think they'll be in a rush to replace Durham Smythe. But it was interesting that they deemed him as a priority to patch this thing up. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, we shall see. But like I say, I had my wits about me for this draft, and we'll see how Ryan Poles does when it comes time to actually do the same thing, because it's going to be tricky, y'all.
I tell you what, Durham Smythe increased his value big time while he was here.
I agree with that.
Not saying he was less valuable when he was in Miami, but he became a piece here.
Well, he became so much of a piece that newly hired offensive coordinator for the Ravens, took him with him.
That's where he wound up.
Yeah.
Because they're losing likely.
Declan Doyle.
Likely to lose likely.
Yeah, Declan Doyle was like, yeah, come on, Smythe, roll with me.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there, man, because what we see as this is what we need versus what the team might, I'm trying my best to get as close as I can personally in the conversations that I have with the No Maniacs, the Super No Maniacs, and everybody that's watching the show and support what we do on Kids of Canuck and on Sports Chicago Style. We're trying to get closer to the reality of what might be going on in there. And they're always leaving little crumbs. And I look at the last season, the previous season, as those are the huge boulder crumbs. Like, all you had to do is look at what Ben Johnson liked as far as the offense goes and what he prioritized and what he thought gave him an advantage. And the tight ends definitely gave him an advantage. How he used the tight ends freed up a lot of one-on-ones with different players. And this is a tight end ridden kind of offense. This is a very tight end friendly. And if you can block in this offense as a tight end, you're definitely on Ben Johnson's radar. You're like his antennas are like peaking. If you can block and you can play as a receiver, you're valuable in Ben Johnson's offense. So that's what I think about tight end and offense when it comes to Ben Johnson. He really uses that to make the offense more dynamic and free up stuff. That's what he does. And so, yeah, good draft, man. But, hey, guys, I got to get ready. Unless y'all got some other thoughts, man, I got to get ready to get out of here. Girlfriend's off this last night, and I got to be domestic tonight. I do that every other week.
Well, I'm with you. Awesome draft, awesome conversation. I really enjoyed the conversation to start this show out. I think it's really the conversation that's being had with respect to the Chicago Bears between Bears fans, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, or wherever, face to face. So we'll see how this team continues to grow and build. I'm excited for whatever that looks like, and you're gonna find conversations like that right here at Kedza Canuck on YouTube, right there at Sports Chicago Style, as well as on the Nomad Network, live on Nomad Live.
Ain't no foot touching around here, Scrolls. Ain't nobody touching no foot.
Foot tasting?
Ain't no foot tasting, no foot touching. That shit around here.
Uh-huh.
There's other body parts, man. Fuck them feet.
Whoa. Where are we going?
No, don't even get them started, man. We got to get ready to get out of here.
Well, big up to everybody. Thanks for tuning in and bearing with us and joining in and participating in all that fun stuff. And I guess we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for some extra sauce. And also a shout out to Chef Trips. I was with him doing some filming earlier, and he said he's looking forward to being with y'all this week for a twist on a Chicago classic, whatever that means. So MF in the kitchen, Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does, because he is a character. So yeah, we will check y'all then.
Shout out to Smitty, the king of replay, man. Lately, he been on the road trying to do his damn job, and he got to catch us on replay, man. We love you, Smitty. Just know that, dog. We with you. Wherever you go, we with you, man. And the fact that he gonna watch everything on replay, man, he's dialed in, man. Smitty's dialed in. He knows there's gonna be some nuggets that's gonna get said on all these shows, and he's gonna make sure he watches that show in the entirety. And I encourage everybody that can't watch it live, catch it on the replay, man, and watch it through, because there's always nuggets being given during these shows. Every time I rewatch the show, there's always nuggets. I'm like, damn, we said that. We said this. We talked about that. I forget it sometimes because we're live on the show and we're doing it in real time. I forget that we said these things. I'm like, damn, we need to make a short out of that. But yeah, that's just how dialed in we get on this channel, man. So there ain't no other network that can really point out some of the things that we do, man. And I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of these boys right here too, man. So I just thank y'all for being here. Any last thoughts before we go? Because I'm about to close this thing down. All right. I love you all. Appreciate you for being here. Pay close attention to what we're saying. Watch it on replay. Please send it out to your friends and family members. Let people know what we do. And make sure that they subscribe and hit the like button, man, because that's so important. And it's totally free for all three channels, Kedza Canuck, Sports Chicago Style, and the Nomad Network. Everything we're asking is totally free. So do those things. Share it with your people. Make sure your people know that love the Bears, know that we talk what we're talking about. And on Wednesday, I just want to leave you with this before we go. Somehow, some way, I'm gathering some information about some things that I'm hearing about, and I'm talking about the doomsday survival part of the show. We need to pay real close attention to what we're going to have to say there on Wednesday, I'm gathering some information. Now, hopefully that thing will be 360 degrees by the time we get to the show on Wednesday, but there's some stuff that we need to know. I'm talking about as a society, a human society, and around the world. I don't care whether you're in Canada, Switzerland, I don't give a shit where you are. Africa, whether you're in Israel, Palestine, I don't care where you are. You need to pay attention to that part of the show come Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. You should know what's coming down the pipe because I'm gathering information and I'm telling you, it's very, I don't want to scare nobody, but it's kind of alarming. I'll just say that. But just to avoid politics, I just want to focus on that right there. But we love you all for being here. Don't forget, 8 p.m. Central on Wednesday night, man. Make sure you show up for that, some extra sauce. But I want to leave you guys with these famous words. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.